Hey everybody, it's Mark here with the Game Junction Podcast. Here's Brandon as well.
What's up? My name's Fred.
Oh, God, he's so stupid. Welcome in everybody to episode 114 of the Game Junction Podcast. It's been another week, another good week. Maybe
Yeah.
not the most busy week ever, but happy Friday. It's the first episode of the new year, 2025. Hope everyone's having a good or had a good holiday season at the very least.
Yeah.
Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Crazy. 2025, 2024 flew by fast, it seems like to me.
It's
It
both
seems like
fast and slow at the same time.
it seems slow at the time, but it's like afterwards you're like, man, that flew by. But it's like the older you get, the faster time seems to move. It's just a thing. Like the older I
Like
get,
your
that's how I
perception
feel.
of time.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's it's us thinking about our inevitable doom, right?
I mean, maybe you, not me. I'm gonna live forever.
Oh, okay. You must be tight with Elon Musk.
I get that brain chip implanted, get some nanobots in me.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. That's the way
what
to
I'm
do it.
saying.
Yeah, for sure.
You have any big plans for 2025? Stuff you wanna? I guess you call it a New Year's resolution. I don't call it that. I think those are stupid. But stuff that you'd want to do in 2025.
Yeah, I don't really do New Year's resolutions either, because
They always fall through like 5 days in.
not 95% of people, it's, hey, I want to lose weight. They go to the gym for the first 2 months and then they stop. So like I always make that joke. I mean, which is the truth. I mean, that's the truth, right? Like that's when
'cause it's
gyms
like,
make
what,
the
you need,
most
like,
money.
it takes about 21 days to form a habit, then to be consistent
Yeah.
with that habit.
Yeah, and then people are saying they're going to the gym. They're going like twice a week. Like that ain't doing nothing. I'm sorry, that's not doing
No, you
anything.
gotta be going like 5 days a week.
Yeah,
Realistically.
yeah, for sure. But I mean, no, I mean 2025. Like, I guess I don't know. I want to say keep doing what I'm doing, but I just want to get better at what I'm doing. I want to
Refine it.
learn. Yeah, I want to refine it. I want to learn new things. I mean, editing's a big thing where I want to keep learning because I don't want to be complacent. I don't want to be stuck. And then, like, like you can attest to this. The beginning of editing can be very frustrating when you don't know anything at all and you're literally learning on your own. There's still so much I don't know. I mean, I'm not, a great edit. Even though I edit for other people, I still wouldn't say I'm like a super good editor or anything. There's, and I've switched now to a third software. So I'm wanting to learn that software a little bit more. And, as far as like Game Junction goes, I guess, just, I, for the most part, I mean, I think 2024, there's definitely been too many weeks that I've missed videos that bothers me. Not this, I still did good, but there's just been like too many weeks where you almost in your head make excuses for yourself. Like I am really freaking busy. I've got a kid, I've got 2 jobs. I am very busy. I don't have free time. I don't get to sit down and play video games. Sitting down and play video games is when I stream, and that's doing double duty. I get to stream, talk with people on the stream, but also it's like, I dedicate this time. It's scheduled out. I'll get to play. But yeah, I mean, I don't get to do anything else. I would like to maybe travel to some more conventions again this year. This year. Didn't really do that in 2024. Did it like crazy in 2023. I got kind of burnt out. I went to 17 in total. And then last year I went to 2. So I would like to go to some more. Because that's the only time I've traveled. I mean, realistically, before that, the last time I had traveled out of state was going to Washington, D.C. in 7th grade. So,
you get out more.
Yeah. It's hard with a kid, man. You can't really just guys, if it's work related, and with the Game Junction stuff, that was, I was able to work around that to be able to do that, but it's not like you're gone for a week at a time or whatever. Some of them are 1 day, some are 2 days, some are 3 days. It's not that long. But yeah, I would like to do that because I enjoy speaking at panels and stuff like that. I think it's fun, you know, having people in there asking you questions and people that are interested in, you know, content and stuff like that. But I just I guess my big goal is just to learn more, soak more stuff in, get out of my comfort zone a little bit. And yeah, I mean that's, you know, a little bit it, but you know, as far as Anime Junction cast, like not necessarily a goal, but it's doing very well. We're not that far in, and like, you know, I'm kind of, my hope is that it, you know, really takes off in 2024. You know, I wouldn't have expected it to take off or do anything until like 2025, because like we're, you know, over 100 episodes in with this, and like we're how many episodes in with Anime Junction Cast? 14?
We're 15 episodes in. It'll be
15
16 this week.
15 episodes in. We got people in what, Bangladesh listening on
Something like that.
Spotify and India and stuff, which is the coolest thing ever, to know that like somebody out of the country is checking out your podcast. It's just it's a cool feeling. So what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's up in the air. You obviously want the Anime Junction stuff to take off, continue to do well. But I got a bunch of stuff in my personal life that's up in the air. I'm trying to figure out, and well, here in a few months. So ideally, there's some stuff that I want to have happen that I'll talk about more when I know what's actually going to happen for sure, and stuff like that, with timelines and what's actually going to go on. But I've got some other stuff, personal stuff. There's other stuff I need to do. Like I need to stop being lazy about going to the gym.
Yeah, I know.
That's
me
an
too.
obvious thing, but
That's a big thing
yeah,
for me
it's just,
too.
I would say for it to try to continue working on school, but I've got, starting Monday, I've got 8 weeks worth of 8 weeks worth of 2 classes. That's what they're 4 little classes, and then I'm done. And I swear off school in general. I'd never want to sit in a classroom ever again. I hate it so much.
I don't blame you. And here I am considering going back again, even though I just went last year.
But hey, with this one, like I'll have that fully off my chest, and I'll have like there's like, you know, $2,000-$3,000 of debt that I still owe them or something like that.
I mean, that's great because I'm well over that amount for me personally.
Yeah, I had the benefit of essentially not needing to pay, having my school paid for. So.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool stuff for sure.
But,
hey,
yeah,
not to break up the show at all, but did you alert the Discord that we're live by chance? I'm trying to get it up.
I will.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
I know it auto pings the Discord.
But people don't see it because it doesn't add everyone.
It doesn't. It auto populates, but it doesn't ping everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sorry for audio listeners. We're just setting up a few things. Just realizing we did get promo out right before the show.
Yeah. The Twitch is gonna look a little weird for a second while I do this.
Yeah, no worries. I want to get some other stuff out. But yeah, I mean, we, you know, I guess for this new year, you know, we'll see what the year brings us. I think there's a lot of good things to come. I mean, we got plans for stuff. We, you know, when we're not on air, we talk about, you know, some different things that we're going to do. We talked about with the Junction Network channel about you maybe doing like a sort of top 10 for anime that's all different, maybe once a month, which I think is really cool because you could, I mean, that's kind of endless. You get top 10 hentai, top 10 shoujo.
He's so stupid.
Yeah. All kinds of top 10s you could do. But yeah, no, I think we got some pretty good plans there. We also broke 1,000 on one of our videos, right? That was the top 10 starting anime video.
Yeah, first video on that channel to break 1,000.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, man. Good stuff for sure. I think one of the things I got to figure out is like what content direction I want to go with Game Junction, because I've got like, the way that my brain works is that I have too many ideas, if that makes sense, and it's like I can't decide on one particular route, and I really don't want to ever be boxed in. But unfortunately, the way that YouTube works is that you kind of find a little, I don't want to say niche because it's just gaming, but you find a little pocket that you fit into, and then that's where people start watching you. You know what I mean? It's like you find that little
Yeah.
pocket, and it's like trying to find that when gaming channels are a dime a dozen. You know, there's so many gaming channels. You're competing with so many people, um, just to get your video seen. So, and then I feel like we talked about it a lot. Anime is not as bad. Definitely not as bad, especially in the
Was
podcast
it
side of
was
things.
like a decade ago.
A
It was all over
decade
the
ago for
place.
sure. Yeah, there was the big guys, and we both watched them and stuff like that, and they're still around. But I feel like
Just what
not
they've done is shifted and stuff like that.
yeah, for sure. And it's definitely different with it's interesting to see the sort of comparison with viewers and content wise and what's already out there with gaming versus like anime and stuff like that. And then we're about to relaunch the culture junkie stuff, which I think is probably going to do very well because that is the least boxed in podcast that we could possibly do. It's just all pop culture. We do whatever the heck we want. We have no limits. And then we did say we're going to go through all the Godzilla movies. So maybe like every third episode or every other episode, whatever it takes to get through all the movies and stuff like that. We're going to do that. So that's one of the big plans. We're going to start that this month. We just got to figure out what day we're going to get those recorded. And obviously beforehand, we got to watch the first two Godzilla movies. I've seen Godzilla and Godzilla Raids again a dozen times, but I want to rewatch them just to refresh my memory and maybe catch some things I might have missed because that first Godzilla movie is amazing. There's so many details that people miss in that movie that, you know, for the time is just crazy. But, you know, look forward to the Culture Junkies coming back here soon. So we do have that plan, but I guess we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah, as well as this quick little shout out. We're 7 subscribers away from 150 on the Junction Network. So if you have not subscribed
Yeah.
yet, we would appreciate it. Go over there, check it out, check out the content, give us a subscribe. I swear I can speak without like stuttering all over myself.
We're only 6
Get
away
more
from
content. There's stuff to watch, stuff that's consistently coming out. That's more than just the podcast.
yeah, we're 6 away from 3,600 on Game Junction as well.
Always got to shout that out. So
Yeah, for
but
sure.
yeah, we can get into the meat of the actual podcast.
Yeah, let's go.
Because we had some Godzilla news that dropped. RIP for Pluto TV. We got some Nintendo rumors that dropped. We haven't watched it yet, but there's a new season of Squid Games, as well as there was something else I was trying to think of. I can't remember the other big one, but yeah, let's just get into it. We'll run into it eventually. Oh, make sure I bring that up properly. So, Tango Gameworks came out and said, Rebirth is getting saved by Crafton, if I don't have that misinterpreted.
Yeah, that's good news, man. Because we were talking about that. I was like really bummed out that studio closed down and stuff. Because that game is really good. They put out the was it Bomb Rush Cyberpunk? I think they did, or was it the other one that was supposed to be like Jet Set
I
Radio?
thought it was Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush. That's
was
what
the
it is.
game.
Sorry, Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah,
There's
so
a couple that came
apparently
out.
they were Tango Gameworks is a Japanese studio. They were bought by the Korean publisher Crafton.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, that means that they can continue working on Hi-Fi Rush 2, which was already in development. And it is a phenomenal game, especially if you're a fan of the Dreamcast era of Jet Set Radio. Definitely, you know, a spiritual successor to that and a really good game. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk's really good too, so don't sleep on that one as well. But Hi-Fi Rush, that's cool. That means they can continue that development. The game, like, overall, it did well. It was perceived well. I just don't know if it had the sales there for it. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the whole behind the scenes thing with it, but it did well. Everybody I had talked to loved it. Even journalists liked it. Like it, got pretty good scores across the board. People seemed to enjoy it, and then it just got scrapped. And it was even in the game of the. I don't know. It was in the Game Awards conversation, not Game of the Year conversation. I don't think, but it was. I think it won even an award. So. Yeah, that's good
I think
news.
it
I
bodes
mean, for
well.
once, we don't see that very often. For once, we got some good news.
Yeah, and I guess this studio is probably best known for both PUBG and for Subnautica. It's probably their two most well-known games that they've published.
Subnautica is a pretty chill game. I like that one.
Yeah, it is. But what's it? Subnautica and Below Zero.
Yeah, yeah, it's a chill
They
game.
worked on
I
a
like
series
that
of
one.
other games. Those are just the ones that really seem to jump out as like the big titles, at least here in the West that I know of.
Right. Yeah.
Unless you're super into Golf King World Tour on mobile.
Absolutely love
Which
that
I don't know.
game.
Maybe
Play it every
you
day.
are, and I'm just
Play it every single day of my life.
yeah, right. But it's good to see something positive coming out to start the new year at the very least.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Sorry, I'm still trying to get a few things.
Oh no, you're good. Because what did they also worked on? I think you said they worked on Ghostwire as well as a sequel to The Evil Within.
Yeah. Yep.
They've done good work.
They've done a lot of
they're
stuff.
getting
for sure.
acquired by a studio that has money.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's definitely good news. I do hope that Hi-Fi Rush 2 comes to fruition, because that was a huge bummer when that happened, because it was like kind of out of nowhere. It was like that game did well, was perceived well, people really enjoyed it, and then it was closed down. So,
Yeah. So does that mean you're gonna stream that game now?
Hi-Fi Rush 2, if they do it?
Either one.
Yeah, I'll stream it. For sure.
No, I'm not trying to back you into a corner.
You're always backing me in. So never back baby into a corner.
What, your baby now?
It's a movie reference, man. You're too young.
Too young. I'm like a month older than you.
You don't get the reference, Dirty Dancing? You never seen that movie? Nobody backs baby into a corner.
I didn't like the movie.
It's a classic. Come on now.
It's debatable.
Whatever.
Come on, it's no. It's not. I don't know why. I don't know why Dirty Dancing. We're just talking about that. It's no Joe Dirt. Like, come on.
I hate Joe Dirt.
Oh, yeah, we can't be friends now. Been a great podcast.
I don't think that David Spade is funny at all. I've never found
old
him funny.
David Spade is funny. When he like
maybe in some of the Adam Sandler stuff, but
it's like the old Adam Sandler stuff. His early stuff.
The old Adam Sandler stuff's great, but I never thought David Spade himself was very funny.
See, because you had like what Waterboy. What's the other one?
So many. Happy Gilmore.
No, I'm thinking of the
Big
one
Daddy.
where. Oh no, it's not. It's David Spade and I think John Candy. What movie were they in together?
I love John Candy.
It's more of the meme where it's like they're trying to explain what happens with like the trucks on the table and one's on fire and it's a whole mess. If you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the movie. Tommy Boy.
Oh yeah, Tommy Boy.
Yeah,
you remember in high school? I think we used to have like a math teacher that was always putting quotes up there. And I think he was really into like
Mr. Dilly,
those types of movies.
Yeah. So Chris Farley was my favorite actor for years and years and years. I always thought he was super, super funny. He was, absolute genius of comedy. The guy was just so fun. It's unfortunate how things went, but man, he was, people like that are, what do they call them? Tortured artists. I
think it was both what Chris Farley and John Candy were both in that same situation.
Yeah. No, John Candy? No, he went on drugs and stuff.
No, but he passed away pretty early in life, though.
Yeah, but he was really obese. He was even bigger than. He probably had.
They still both passed away fairly at like the peak of their.
John Candy was old, man. Chris Farley was only in his 30s when he passed.
I don't think he was that old.
Look up his. Yeah, I'm pretty sure John Candy was older.
Is it John? No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's John Candy's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of somebody else.
I was gonna say, John Candy was 43 when he passed.
It's still pretty young. John Candy.
It is now.
No, maybe it
but
was.
back,
43 is not old.
It's not that old, but he looked older than he was though, for sure. And it's because he wasn't healthy.
It was John Candy who I was thinking of, because in there like he passed pretty early. 43 is pretty early.
I'm looking to see because I don't even remember John Candy and John Candy wasn't in Tommy Boy. No, you're thinking of Chris Farley.
Farley. You're thinking of Chris Farley.
You're thinking of Chris Farley.
You're thinking of Chris Farley.
You're thinking of Chris Farley.
I meant both of them, to be
Oh,
fair.
okay.
They're both
Yeah, no, Chris Farley was a genius, man. He was hilarious. Was my favorite actor for a very long time. I love so much stuff that he did. That he and the SNL skits and all that stuff. He was yeah, he was awesome, man. Yeah, that was a big bummer when he passed, but yeah, a lot of classics with him. But John Candy's got a lot of classics too. You know, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and
that's
whatever that
exactly what
Christmas movie is. Oh god, I can't remember what the Christmas movie is, but it's hilarious.
Because he was in what? Uncle Buck. He
Uncle
was in
Buck,
the
yeah, that's the
OG
one.
Home Alone,
Uncle Buck, yeah.
Baseballs. You have The Great Outdoors.
Uncle Buck's
Uh,
probably his best movie, I would say.
yeah, I think I would agree with that. I was trying to see if there's anything else that I was missing that I absolutely
Hey,
knew of
what's
for
up,
sure.
Extreme Games? Thanks for coming in. Got Johnny Garboyle over on the Facebook. So hey guys, what's up? Mr.
What's up?
Coffee.
What's up?
Best advice: if you have too many ideas, just write them down, throw them up in the air, and grab one, then follow through with it. I mean, it's not bad advice. That's my problem.
Not
Too many ideas, and then brain is 100 miles a minute.
yeah. But don't forget, John Candy was also in Stripes and Who's
Stripes
Harry
is really
Crumb.
good.
Really, really good.
What's the main actor's name? In Stripes. Oh god, I can't think of it.
Oh, it's
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, that's another good one too, man. I love Bill Murray. He's funny. He just you ever see the videos and stuff where he just like shows up places like just completely unannounced and like people be taking pictures of Bill Murray at a bar or he'll go to like a small like little local
Is it
band
like
show.
is it like a peak popularity of just showing up random places?
Yeah, one of my
Like,
favorite
the dude's loaded.
Yeah, he's crazy. One of my favorite things of Bill Murray is in Zombieland.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super funny.
He's just like dressing up, acting like a zombie, and that's kind of what ends up getting him shot.
Yeah. Oh man, good stuff for sure.
Actually, I don't know. I think one of his best movies might be Caddyshack.
Yeah, Caddyshack's really good too.
Such an iconic movie.
Very, very iconic. I mean, then
His story is kinda
Groundhog's
like a
Day
side
too.
story in that movie. Groundhog, yeah, those like 2 movies you know him from.
Yeah, he was really good in that too. There's so many, man. With this, Hollywood is just not the same as it was, man. Like, there's so many
It's not
classics.
creative. Nobody takes any risks anymore.
They
It's just
don't, and a lot of those movies did take risks. Like, I mean, like Groundhog's Day, like the whole premise, it's like silly. It's got a silly premise and stuff, but it
yeah.
works. Like, and comedy films aren't really a thing anymore either. We don't get comedies
Well,
like we used to.
the problem is, like, to have good comedy, you need really smart writers to know
Yeah.
how to write it. Because comedy, it's either really good or it's really bad. You're either getting like a Caddyshack or you're getting a Freddy Got Fingered. Like, there's no in between.
Yeah, we just don't get that. We just don't get those type of movies anymore. We don't, like, period. Nobody, because people aren't taking the risks that they used to at the
But
box
it's not
office.
even because it's all about, well, this has proven it works. Let's just do that 1,000 times. The problem is eventually you start
Instead, we
getting
get the
diminishing
Barbie
returns 'cause
movie.
people get bored with it.
You know, stuff like that. Safe bets. I don't like safe
Yeah,
bets.
the problem with safe bets is eventually it starts losing you money because
Yeah.
the audience gets bored with it. I think that's the problem with modern Hollywood is it's just the same thing over and over and over again. It's just so
Yeah,
like
it's
do something different,
monotonous.
take a risk.
Well, I mean, what's
It's
the
I think
last really good movie that you watched that's, like a newer movie? What's the last? Because
that is really hard to think actually.
last
I don't
really
really
good
watch
movie.
a lot of movies like I used to.
I don't either, but
I'm like,
probably for me, I don't know. I would have to say maybe Oppenheimer or Deadpool and Wolverine, which was like kind of
I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine was good, but
it's
I
a
still wouldn't
popcorn
put it as
flick.
like
It's a popcorn flick, but it's a
it's a
better
popcorn flick
among
though.
many of the Marvel crap that we've been getting. So like, I guess, like I said, I don't watch a lot of stuff. Like the next thing I plan on watching is a Sonic 3 movie, which I'm hearing good things about. But I mean, I guess honestly, legitimately, I thought the Super Mario Bros. Movie is really good. Like, I thought it was a really,
Probably
really
the
good.
best in like the last decade that I've seen, to be fair.
It was a really good. So much so I own 2 freaking copies of it, and I've seen the movie like 7, 8 times.
I'll take this. I wasn't the biggest fan of a lot of the CG, but the movie, it came out in like what 20, I think maybe around 2019. It was the Midway movie. That was a really good movie if you're into that historical flick.
What's it called?
Just because it's called Midway.
Look it up.
It centers around the Battle of Midway, if you know anything
Yeah,
about
I
the
figured.
war history. It was decent. Obviously, didn't have a lot of money. Too much CG for my liking, obviously.
Got
But it
42% on Rotten
it
Tomatoes.
told the history really well, which matters to me when I'm watching like a history movie.
Let me ask you a question. Have you heard about that movie? 𝐒𝐴𝐚𝐥 did a reaction. He actually defended the movie too. I have to look up what it's called. It's a Netflix exclusive movie, and it's about a all-black battalion in World War II that delivers mail. It's all about the mail delivery.
How do you make a movie out of that? Though?
Exactly. That's my point.
Without manipulating the problem with history is there's a lot of good stories, but sometimes like you have to actually find something that's entertaining. Not the problem is you see that and you're like, you just look at you like, yeah, that's a Netflix
It's called
movie.
the
You're just
6
pushing
triple.
something that was completely had
Like,
no significance on history at all. Had no impact on anything.
It's called the 6 888, and I was like,
not that it wasn't like essential, but like I look at this, I'm like, it could be a good movie, but like
it's all about
know
mail though. Like, what is no? There's nothing interesting about
the
that.
topic itself isn't compelling for like a good history movie.
And the thing about that movie is a lot of people were like, "Oh, DEI, DEI." Well, 𝐴𝐴𝐴𝐴 up some pretty good points.
Just looking at it, to be fair,
it was
with
real.
Hollywood's track record, it screeches that from the get-go.
It screeches that, but in its defense, that was a real historical event. I mean, there was an all-female black battalion that was all for mail
I'm not
delivery.
criticizing that. I'm just looking at this. I'm like,
but people are immediately like DEI, DEI because they're so used to it now. You know what I mean?
Well, because Hollywood's conditioned you to it. And it could be a really good movie.
But regardless, like I have zero
flop.
interest in watching that about mail
But
delivery.
my criticism is like there's far more compelling history that is either had an impact or it's just far more interesting as a topic if you're looking at history movies or military history and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you know, just as insignificant, but the Battle of Ytre Castle, far more interesting topic. Because I guarantee you don't even know what that is.
I have no idea. Sorry, I was trying to fix.
Yeah, Brandon, just fine.
No, you're good. It's I missed a bunch of comments for some reason. I was just checking here. Johnny over on Facebook said, "I seen the movie Sonic 3. I promise no spoilers." It's great. Thrifter Charlie Brown says left Facebook to join y'all here on YouTube. I love the username. Thanks guys for coming to hang out.
I just bring that one up because the plot is interesting and compelling because it takes place. This is after the fall of. It takes place after the fall of Berlin.
Let me ask you a question: is it as interesting as the PS5 remote?
I think it's far more interesting personally, if you ask me.
Okay.
But I really love history and military history. But the basis, and I'm not going to dwell on this or dwell on this too long. The basis of it essentially is you've got American troops, German soldiers, and a SS officer defending a castle full of French POWs from hardline SS.
Okay.
That's the premise of that battle that lasts about 24, 36 hours, something like that.
I like military stuff too, but I feel like this is obviously going way back because it's old. Probably came out in like 2006 or something. But still one of my favorite things besides Saving Private Ryan, which is a great movie, was Band of Brothers. I thought that was an awesome series.
Because it had a lot of love, passion in it.
Yeah, you could
told
tell
the story really well, how it's shot. It
holds up today.
It's really well written. Yeah, I think it's better than a lot of stuff that comes out today.
I mean,
it does the same thing right that Saving Private Ryan did. Even though Saving Private Ryan is a fictitious story, it's really well done, a historical like a period piece essentially, taking place around a real thing. The actual story is not. Where Band of Brother, while it simplifies a lot of stuff that actually happened, it properly tells a really good and interesting story, an accurate story to what actually happened.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I can't tell you the last military thing I watched that I really loved. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I'm also really critical about them because it's just it's like a hobby topic that I really like.
I mean,
And
let me
I
ask
always
you
have.
this: is Girls in Panzer accurate? Like, is that
Uh,
dumped you?
Not it yes, but mostly no, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of accurate references. The tank designs themselves are real, and characters themselves will reference certain things, but the actual how the battles take place and the types of shells that certain tanks would bounce or take a hit, wholesale inaccurate. But it's just a fun story. But even there's even times where they reference it where they're like, yeah, this tank should drastically, uh, like this tank has like a max speed like 15. This one has like max speed of like 40. Like it one tank shouldn't outdrive the other, but they
Right.
do because well, it's just that doesn't matter. But they'll reference it like, yeah, we know this is not accurate, but it's cool, so who cares? It's a show that was written by people that love history, but also need to make a compelling and fun, interesting story at the same time. Or at the very least, the action's interesting. The overall plot's kind of, simple, but that's what you get from like essentially like a sports type show.
Uh, Palmer Froggy guy says don't like the military. Pearl
Probably military,
Harbor.
if I had to guess.
Pearl Harbor turned to a
Trinity.
chick flick.
Oh yeah. Like
It's
if you want a proper story that deals with that, you have essentially Midway that came out in like the late 2010s, and you got Tora realistically.
what's it
But I
called?
mean, Tora it came out in like the 60s. It's a really old, really historically accurate, but it can be boring
I wonder.
because of how accurate the history it actually is. But
Yeah,
I love military history. I love military movies. I love history in general, but some people
yeah, I
absolutely it
like
bores the
history
crap out of
too.
them. So,
I like history too.
oh,
You gonna watch Gladiator too?
I know because I don't want to ruin the first movie for me. But I haven't heard the best reviews on it.
I haven't heard anything. I had to shout out something funny real quick. So it's the great thrifter Charlie Brown said in the chat, you know me, Brandon. I said, do I? He sent me a message on Facebook. I knew it was. He's like, yep, you do. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean it's sitting at a 71 from the critics, an 82 from the audience. From what I've seen, it screams more of a popcorn flick, but it's far less accurate. Even how inaccurate the first movie really was to the history. It was much more better. The first Gladiator was a better period piece than this one is, from what I understand, or from what I've seen talking about it. But that's just me, just having an aversion to anything that Hollywood puts out.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
fair
I
enough.
don't
Like,
trust them.
I mean, I don't either. I've lost all faith. That
I
there's
mean,
a
'cause I recently
handful of
went back
things I've
and
watched that I've.
rewatched. Like I rewatched the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, and you're just like, Hollywood could never make something that lives up to that today. If they remade those movies, they would pale in comparison to the original trilogy. Like, not only are those really good movies, it's probably the best adaptation that you could ever do, ever.
Yeah, yeah. I did you like God, what was it called? Let me see if I can look it up real quick. It's really good. I watched this like 6 hour long World War II documentary.
I've
'Cause
seen
I,
that a
'cause
few
I
times.
really get into it too. I love history as well. It was like 6 hours long. I had to watch it in like 4 or 5 different settings.
It's a
Let's see.
documentary. Yeah, it's a documentary. So you
I
kind
think
of,
it's just called World, because I had it on DVD.
there's quite a
I think
few
it's
of them
just
to be
called World
fair.
War
So
II. Yeah, there's a lot
yeah.
of them. The movie I was thinking of is, oh wait, that's not it. Oh, Fury. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, it's probably uh, one of the better World War II tank movies out there. There's not a lot of them from what I've seen.
Another really good one, Inglorious Bastards. That's a really good movie too.
It's good comedy.
It's
It's a really good movie.
yeah.
Because I've heard I can't remember. I think I I might be mistaken. What's it? Iron Fury might be considered one of the better tank movies of all times, but I'm pretty sure that's a Russian movie
I don't think I've seen that one.
because it deals with the Eastern Front and the war.
Oh yeah, another good one too, American Sniper, which is obviously based on true story. I really
Yeah,
like that
really
movie as
good.
well. Um, yeah. Trying to see if there's
There's a lot of good.
there's a lot of good
The
ones.
problem the problem if you look at like military movies specifically, there's a lot of good ones from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. A lot of good ones from that time period.
I mean,
That's the
bro, I like
problem.
MASH. Like, I think it's a comedy, but like also with some serious tones. Did you ever get into that, or was it too old for you?
No, I watched it growing up. I never got like get into it, but I would watch it. It was on TV.
My grandpa loved it, so we watched it
But I
quite a
mean,
bit.
just because I brought up because you got like what A Bridge Too Far, Kelly's Heroes, Patton, Bridge on the River Kwai, and those are like really old movies.
Okay, so to transition this to video games, what do you think are the best?
Yeah, way off on a tangent right there.
No, I mean, yeah, it has nothing to do with anything, but what do you think are the best video game war, military games? What do you think are the best? Because I mean, you've got like Medal of Honor, which I would say 1, 2, and 3 are really good.
If you want to call it the more arcadey style, it's the old Medal of Honor games from the early 2000s, like around the 2001 to like 2008, right before COD took over. Those are some really good games.
Yeah, Medal of Honor was amazing.
So I'm trying to.
And there's a lot of Medal of Honor games. I mean, Airborne. You got whatever the second one was called.
I know that I played.
There's one that you have probably never played, and the only reason I played it is because it was a PlayStation Plus game a long time ago. It's called Hell Lets Loose, and it's like too accurate of a military game, if that makes sense. Like, it's good, but it's too accurate.
What is it called again?
It's called Hell Lets Loose. I don't know how else to explain it other than like it's like as accurate of a military game I've ever played. Like it's almost too accurate essentially. Like
yeah, I've never played that, but when I think of Medal of Honor, there's 3 games that I played up. It was Allied Assault, European Assault, and then the Rising Sun. Those were like the 3 Medal of Honor games that I played growing up.
Did you ever play? So I had this growing up. Let me see what it's called. Did you ever play the actual U.S. Army video game? Did you ever play that? I had it.
To be fair,
it was terrible, but
I can imagine. So
yeah, it was really bad. And like at the end of the game, they like essentially try to recruit you. Like no joke. Like you could sign up to also serve your country. It's called. It's called America's Army Proving Grounds. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah, to be fair, that's like more of advertising than anything else.
It's straight up advertising.
I mean, if you, but there are some good games out there. If you're more into the sim, you've got obviously Arma 3, which is a really big sim game. You got like World of Tanks. World of one of those other games. They're free to play games. World of Tanks and I think it's War Thunder, the 2 free to play games and stuff like that.
Did you ever get into either Ace Combat or what's the other big one I'm trying to think of? Oh, the Battlefield games. Did you ever get any like Battlefield 1942?
The Battlefield. I played Ace Combat 7 is the most recent one that came out, I believe.
Yeah, that
was
a fun game.
I played it. I never got super into it, but I have played it. As well as you could argue I mean, Age of Empires is not really, it's the same game, but like the Total War games, like I played Total War Shogun and some of those games. Those are pretty good games.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want more, because it's Total War Shogun's the Japanese one, but you also have like just the regular Total War, which deals with like Rome and some of those more pre-medieval battles, I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was trying to pull, there was another weird military game that I had back in the day, I think on PS1. I remember what the heck it was called. Oh,
never had PS1, so I probably haven't played it.
Did you ever play any of the Army Men games? Because it's on 64
like
too.
The ones based off like the little
toys,
the
yeah.
green ones.
They were really fun.
Sergeant Heroes. Yeah,
they were really.
I played those on the 64.
Yeah, those were really fun.
About those.
Yeah, there's like 5 of them.
Yeah, because I played Sergeant. I remember playing Sergeant Heroes. That's the one.
That was the one I was on 64. Oh, this is the game. These are the games I was thinking of. So there's a bunch of these. It's a long running series that's still going on now. Spec Ops. Did you ever play any of the Spec Ops games? It's so fun. I mean, like Spec Ops: The Line is in my top 5 video games of all time.
Yeah, I know people that have. I haven't personally though, but I
I
know a
can
lot of
tell
people that
you,
everybody I talk to that has raved about it.
yeah, Spec Ops: The Line especially, but I played it all the way back to the PS1 because there was a couple Spec Ops games, but Spec Ops: The Line, my God, that game still holds up. I replayed it, I think in
Oh,
2022, and it is
'cause
so good.
that has the infamous that white phosphorus scene
Yeah,
in it, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, I remember hearing about that back in the day. I don't know why it was drama. It's like an M-rated game, so
yeah. We rented that, so we rented that game from Blockbuster, beat it the same day. It was a pretty short story, but it was so good. I mean, it
used to be
was,
able to do that with a lot of older games. You could beat them in
and it
one
wasn't
sitting.
even an old game though. It was a 360 game, so it was like weird that it was only like
Yeah,
7 hours long, but like it was a
there were a
really
few
good
games
seven
like that.
hours.
Like even like the game we played back in the fall. What is it? Oh, it's the oh, I'm blanking on the name.
A game that we played?
Yeah, we played it on stream. It was one of the first games we started streaming together.
Shit, I don't remember.
Gears of War. Sorry, Gears of
Oh
War
yeah,
1.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why I blanked on the game. Like that's a game you could arguably beat in like 8 to 12 hours. You could beat that in one
We beat
sitting
it
because I
in
have
what?
before.
Did we beat it in 2 or 3 streams?
I think we beat it in I think we beat it in 3 streams.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
mean,
if
realistically,
you
we
know
if we
what you're
streamed a
doing and you're
little
not like
longer, we could have streamed it in two. We could have beat it in two. But
if you know
yeah,
what you're doing and you're not dilly dallying, you're just trying to get through the game. Yeah, you could very easily beat that in like
for
one
sure.
sitting. It's not the
I
longest game
forgot
out
how
there.
short that game was. I forgot it was that short. I think Gears 2 is significantly longer, if I remember
Oh
correctly.
yeah, Gears 2 and Gears 3
Because
are
it's
like
like a
close to like 20-hour games.
yeah, a 20-hour game or so. But Mr. Coffee said, depends on how hard you set it. Not sure what that one's on. Oh, it's a great Thrifter brought up Akari Warriors, absolute classic. But I'm old. Operation Wolf, another good one. Uh, Red October, best movie. Red October is really good. Oh, World War II in Collar, that's what it's called. That's the one I was talking about. It's like a 6-hour
Oh yeah,
documentary.
I think it's like multiple parts though.
Yeah, I had the whole DVD set for it and watched the whole thing. I get really interested in that stuff, so I
Oh,
really
I
like
did.
history.
There's another one I had. It was I don't know which one it was, but it's the one I had one of the Brothers in Arms games on DS.
Oh yeah, Brothers in Arms. That
It's
was
the
a
only
great
one I
series
played.
too. On DS, so that DS one was, what was that called? Because I had it too.
I think it was just Brothers in Arms. Brothers in Arms DS. I'm pretty sure is what it is.
It very well might be. I can't remember. I had it as well. Yeah, it's just called Brothers in Arms DS. Uh, I actually thought that was a good game. I don't know if you like. I thought it was
I
good.
never beat it. I played it. It
I even
wasn't
played the
it
Call of
was a
Duty games on the DS,
game.
and I thought they were good too. I mean, there were still FPS games, and the Wii games really good as well. Like
Did you
totally
ever play
overlooked.
you ever play Hell's Highway then for Brothers in Arms?
Yeah,
I know I haven't. I've only ever
yeah,
played the
I
DS
have
one.
it. Yeah, I have it. Yeah, it's good stuff. I like military games. I got burnt out for a very long time because of Call of Duty, especially the World War II stuff, because there's so many World War II video games. It's like kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, you had that with Medal of Honor, but Medal of Honor, it was like what couch co-op multiplayer, and you really played it for the single player. And each game was at least the very least trying to tell a different story. But after a while, you're like, there's only so much you can do with this.
That's how
story that you can
Spec
tell.
Ops was on the PS1, because there was, I think, 3 Spec Ops games on the PS1. It was like they were all basically the same game, like reskinned.
Yeah, I think the other problem with a lot of those World War II games is they're all in Europe. Like that's the problem. Like hardly any of those games go over to the
Yeah,
Pacific.
yeah,
Which,
yeah.
to be fair, was far more brutal. Which I could see why people want to shy away from it. But like, there's a lot of potential that they just kind of ignored with that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But all right, yeah, I guess
Why
we'll
not a
go
World War
ahead
One game? Why not some medieval game? I want to play as Genghis the Khan. Come on, I want to burn cities to the ground.
I like medieval games a lot too. Yeah. All right, I guess we should go ahead and dive into the news. What do we got going on?
Yeah, the second thing that we had on this list, like 45 minutes into the podcast.
Are we 45? Oh crap.
Or close to it, 40, 45, something like that. The Fantastic Four is making its way to Marvel's Rivals. Maybe this will be a good form of the what's it?
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. It's in front of my face, and I was like, I don't know what it says.
Yeah, no, I think it's
Sony's
great.
done it no justice.
I'll be honest with you. We were talking about this off stream, and we crapped on that game a lot on the podcast before it came out. Like we crapped on it a lot. Like this is gonna be another failure. Why are they doing this?
I mean, to be fair, the industry has conditioned you to just expect failure.
They have, and I'm trying to now not do that because I've got to stop doing that because what it's become is there's been so much that's happened, especially 2024 in the video game sphere, the movie sphere, whatever, where I'm just like instantly I just crap on stuff because I'm like, why are they doing this? But I like Marvel Rivals. I think it's really fun.
Yeah,
I'm not even that.
It was made by
I'm not even
Chinese developer.
into
That probably helped.
arena shooters, but there's something about it where I really enjoy it. I actually like legitimately like it. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people playing it, like personally, and then obviously people that I follow and stuff like that. A lot of people are playing it, and then like it got suggested yesterday, hey, make that the community game. Pretty much anybody can access it. If you got either PlayStation, PC, Xbox, you can play it free to play. So I mean that's a great idea. We streamed it twice and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun both times. So
Yeah, but I'll say this, to be fair, especially with the game industry, 2024 was a bad year for AAA. I think Ubisoft specifically, but there's a lot of bad AAA games that came out.
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah, I mean there's a ton.
The industry's earned the crap that they get, which is a lot of speculation, and you have to prove otherwise why I should buy your game.
Yeah, and I agree that you do need to prove, but I think that what I need to do is not be so judgmental before, because until that thing is out.
That's what the fun is in the podcast. You have to be judgmental.
It is, but I don't need to completely crap on something that I don't know. We don't know anything about other than this is essentially an Overwatch clone. But the thing is it does Overwatch way better than Overwatch 2. That's the problem.
Overwatch. That's the problem. That's the thing.
And like Blizzard is really screwed. I mean, to be honest, they just like kind of screwed up with everything. Diablo 4, freaking Overwatch 2, like they are just making the wrong. I mean,
to be fair, you
from the
can go
moment
back
they
and
announced
Blizzard and find so many things they've done wrong.
Yeah, it's stupid. It sucks because they used to be a really good company. I really liked them back in the day, but now it's just like, yeah, they just make a lot of stupid moves. And
when are we getting the next Warcraft game?
I have no idea. Probably got another new World of Warcraft expansion coming first.
That's their moneymaker. Why do anything else, really?
I guess, yeah, I guess.
Then again, what about Steam and stuff like that? And it's not Epic, but when we get in Half-Life 3, like, come on, it's been like 2 decades at this point.
Actually, funny enough, I'll see if I can pull it up.
Come on, Gabe, let's go.
What?
Gabe, the owner of Steam, or whatever the actual.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go ahead and read this news story. Since you brought it up. So Half-Life 3 speculation surges once more following cryptic tweets. And so the tweet was, let me see if I can send it to you because it's a video. Just type in Half-Life 3 and you'll see it. There's a bunch of news articles for it so you can see the video. It'll be a little bit easier.
To be fair, it's been back in
a long time.
20-year anniversary of Half-Life 2.
Yeah, and then we did get Half-Life Alyx, so I mean it kind of broke up, which was a very good game people love, but people have been asking for Half-Life 3 for so long. It's just
it was, and Valve was the company I was thinking of. They're just content with just making money off Steam.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they got the Steam Deck that's doing very, very well, and so they're in the hardware game, and we know we got a Steam Deck 2 coming, and I mean the Steam Deck OLED white sold out. I couldn't even get into the queue. It sold out immediately. I couldn't even get in the queue. I tried queuing on my computer, a tablet, and my phone, and couldn't even get in the queue to try to get it. But I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because I would rather just get the Steam Deck 2 when it comes out, because we're so close to it that I expect it next.
Oh my god!
I expect it this year or next year. So I'm good with waiting.
The video they posted on X, talk about the most cryptic teaser I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. Like it
doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Makes no sense at all.
Another year already.
Another year already?
Oh, you can hear that? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I heard that.
Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, no, very cryptic. So I thought that was kind of funny that you brought that up because it's been making the news rounds. So interesting stuff. I would love to see it, but you've never even played a Half-Life game, right?
I was too young to play those kind of games growing up. My parents wouldn't have let me play those games.
Well, you're an adult now. Always go back.
They're also 20-year-old games.
What's wrong with that? Oh, they're on Steam.
Of course they're on Steam for like dirt cheap.
That's what I'm saying. No, a very cryptic squeeze. So I'd be interested to see if we actually if anything comes of it. I mean, that'll break the internet for sure. Because I mean, people have been asking for that for so long that holy crap. It's been a long time. I just want to let everybody know that we got a level 1 snow emergency currently. So may or may not die during the podcast.
Oh yeah, y'all supposed to get like dumped on.
Yeah, we're getting dumped on now.
I was about to say, like, what's a level 1 snow emergency? I haven't heard that in forever.
Well, you guys don't have level 1s and stuff like that there?
Nope. They don't even plow the roads half the time. It's just they'll just close the roads. That's it. We don't have snow emergencies. Like that when back in right before the only major snow that we got was right before Thanksgiving. We got like about 4 inches. We didn't even have an advisory.
That's how big you are.
And they didn't plow the snow. They didn't salt it. You just drove on the road for a few days until it melted naturally. They'll plow I-80. They don't dump salt on it, but they'll plow I-80. That's about it. Anything in town, nah.
Yeah.
But then again, there's a lot of mountain passes out here where the moment it starts to snow, they just shut it down.
Just shut it down.
But to be fair, a lot of those mountain passes get so much snow, it'd be impossible for the 5 cars a day that drive on it. It's not worth the money.
Mr. Coffee said, you aren't that far off. We had so many hero shooters come out. We just got Concord and then Marvel Rivals right after it. So kind of just got a ribbing just because of Concord, which is true. I mean, that was the problem, right? Like, you saw Concord just completely flop right away. So we just thought, yeah, Marvel Rivals is going to flop. But my God, that game, the concurrent viewers and stuff just on Steam is crazy. It's crazy numbers for that game. Like, I was looking at trending games on Twitch, and it was number 2 trending game on Twitch right now. So, and I was even playing, I played a match right before you jumped on.
Yeah, right.
I'm always playing a squirrel girl, and I just shoot from far away. Fun game, man. It's a really fun game. Free to play. There's no reason not at least try it. You know, it's not for everybody. I'm not even an arena shooter guy, but I think it's very fun. I like the characters. I like the design, the aesthetic, and the way that it plays. It feels good. So,
yeah. I gotta bring up though. Isn't most of your snow supposed to come Sunday night?
I have no idea. I'll have to click on this. Breaking news 3 hours ago, Pickett County is now under a level 1 snow emergency. Roadways are hazardous with blowing and drifting snow. Recent reports of cars sliding off roadways have occurred in the last hour in Pickaway County. None with major injuries.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it's going on now.
Like for us, they'll close down the road, which means they lower a bar in front of it and it's closed. And if you go around
for
it
real?
and get stuck,
They don't close any roads here, but like if it's a level, is it level 2 that you're legally not allowed to drive, right?
I thought it was level 3.
It might be level 3. I can't remember.
Out here, I mean, technically, when the barrier's down, you're not supposed to. But if you drive that thing and get stuck, they may or may not send search and rescue. But if they do, you're paying that bill, and that's a several.
Oh yeah. It's like paying the ambulance.
It's that before.
I'll drive myself.
The problem is, like, you could drive. It's like 50 miles between towns, and there's nothing between there. So it's impossible to keep the roads clean. So they just close it.
Mr. Coffee says in PA, so expect to get snow Sunday through Monday. Yeah. I don't like snow just because of the driving thing. I don't have a good car and I don't have a 4-wheel drive or anything like that. So that's my main thing.
Driving the snow is fun, especially if you got a manual car. Oh
yeah, Mark, until you die and don't show up on the podcast, then it's fun.
I just wrecked my car in town. You just drive in town, you'll be fine. You're not gonna kill yourself in town.
All right. What we got next?
So you put in there some Mr. Beast hit 341 million YouTube subscribers. I saw a clip of one of his new like game shows that he did. I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, I haven't seen a clip.
It looked kind of creepy. Like he was like he had that evil villain aura where he's just like Squid Games, but the evil mastermind's the one hosting.
I know about his Beast games. I don't know anything about him. The reason I put that in there, I just thought, it was a new record for YouTube, so I was like, might as well mention it. Light week on news and stuff like that, but I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I can't remember what his subscriber count is. I have to see if it says. But he's had a
341
lot
million.
of controversy the past probably year. There's been all kinds of stuff with him. So I'm kind of
I
surprised
don't know
he's
if it
still
was him, but it was
continuing
one of
to
the other
grow.
guys, one of his guys that worked with him. I think he said Donaldson, who was there's like a lawsuit with mistreatment, sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Unpaid wage, like a whole mess of stuff that when
Mhm.
it came out, you're like, oh, this is gonna be the end. Like he's gonna be drowning in lawsuits and stuff like that. And he still might. Who knows?
Oh, hey. You're pretty close to me there if you're in Orient. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm 20 minutes away. But yeah, anyway, it looks like what did it say? 400 million? 341 million.
341.
Yeah, so I personally don't like the guy. Or I don't like his content. It's just not for me. But there seems to be a lot of weird stuff surrounding like his team and him and stuff like that. So I was kind of surprised to see that he's still growing at the rate that he is, because I mean, like,
People watch him. A lot of people don't care for the other
and
stuff.
you also got to keep in mind there's a lot of kids that are watching. It's more
Yeah.
content for a younger audience.
For a
I
younger
was-
audience,
yeah.
and he just gives a lot of money away for free, so people try to get on that stuff.
I cannot confirm or deny that. But anyway, what we got next here?
Some Call of Duty news. You got Black Ops 6 and Warzone release new update for January this month, actually.
Yeah, this is why I brought the Squid Games stuff up, was mostly because that's why I was asking if you had watched it.
Which is not a surprise with crossover, because is it season 2 of the Korean one, or is it season 1 of the American one? Or maybe it's season 2 of the American one. I don't know.
I didn't know there was more than one.
I thought there was another one.
It's season, I don't know. I just know it's season 2 of whatever the big one during COVID that blew up with that last guy. I heard it's pretty. I know a couple people watching it. I heard it's pretty depressing.
Yeah, so apparently Netflix Korea said season 3 is coming sometime in 2025. I didn't know there was a season 2.
Interesting.
For
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, it makes sense to do the crossover, right? With Call of Duty. I mean, it sell skins, makes sense.
It's just a skin. It makes money. Call of Duty is a really popular game. If you're just trying to do a crossover that's going to make you money, this makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just got to wait for the Squid Game Fortnite crossover.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's already. I think it's already a thing.
Maybe it already does happen. I don't know.
Probably
Probably did. Who knows?
Fortnite freaking collabs with everything, dudes. It's crazy. I mean, Snoop Dogg was in Fortnite. Has a skin.
What's Snoop Dogg
Eminem
like
has
not
a
in?
skin. Like crazy stuff. But
Then again, this is the same Call of Duty that had, was it like Nicki Minaj in it and stuff like that?
in Call of Duty.
Yeah, I swore it was.
God, not a fan. I don't know. Eminem did a whole concert in Fortnite, which was crazy.
Yeah, there was a Warzone, Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3 Nicki Minaj operator bundle.
That's stupid.
So if you wanted a bunch of pink skins,
Who likes Nicki Minaj? Come on.
good question. Teenage girls.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, but what teenage girls are playing? I never mind. I'm sure there's some.
And I know you brought something else up, but there's a rumor out recently that the Star Fox Adventures could be getting a remake in development.
Yeah, this is
And I know we've had our opinions on this, and the community's had its opinions on this. What do you feel of this game? Because if Star Fox is going to move forward and be a relevant IP again, this type of game is where it's going to have to go.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like we can't do the formula of just being in the spacecraft anymore, because I just
they
don't
tried
think it
that
was
again,
so.
and it flopped terrible on the Wii.
Yeah, Star Fox Zero.
Regardless of how good or bad the actual game was, they've
And, I
tried
mean,
to do that, and
don't-
nobody's been receptive.
Don't get me
receptive to
wrong,
it.
I love that. I think it's fun. I played every Star Fox game. Star Fox DS is my I think it's called Star Fox DS is my favorite Star Fox game. But Star Fox Adventures, really good game. I mean, I think it's a really good game. Obviously, it was not intended to be a Star Fox game, but regardless, like it was cool. It introduced Crystal. which is a cool
I still think it was
character.
a fun game. I
think so,
played it
too.
at like a
I
friend's
think
house way back in the day.
this is the route they need to go, because I just don't think the aircraft only Star Fox is going to
There's not enough
sell.
content for it.
Yeah, it's just not going to. It's not going to sell, and they need to bring in that younger audience as
Well,
well.
they need new audiences, what they really need to, because let's be fair, Star Fox really peaked with one game on the 64, and that really was it. That's like
I don't know. It
you
did
know, a
very well on
25,
the Super
30 game
Nintendo.
now. Huh?
Star Fox on the Super Nintendo did very well. It was a big game. It was a big deal.
Yeah, but let's be fair, it peaked on the 64. Like that's the game most people recognize.
I
Star
would
Fox
say,
from, is
yeah,
that
I think
game.
you're probably right. It probably did like peak there, but we still got like. Do you remember Star Fox Command Mission?
On the DS.
No, on the GameCube. Or hold
No,
on, Star Fox Assault.
I only ever know of Star Fox Adventure. I know there were other games like one on the DS, but this was like the last major release that we got that I ever knew of growing up.
It's called Star Fox Assault on the GameCube. Also, really, really good game. And then I think Star Fox completely missed out on the 3DS. No, it got Star Fox 3D, right? Let me look.
Did it? I don't know. I mean, it had the Wii U game, so there.
Yeah,
might have
it
been
was
one, but
Star Fox 64 3D. Sorry, so it just got a remaster in 3D. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, if you haven't played that, I know you have a new 3DS XL with 3D. Actually, really good 3D and a really good remaster of the game. Even if you want to turn the 3D off, like it for sure. Just like Ocarina of Time is officially the best way to play that game. And there's additional content in it, which is really cool.
Isn't Star Fox 64 on NSO, or is it not made it?
It is, but I mean, it's the 64 version, so you're not getting, I mean, all the enhancements from. But it's still a good game, regardless. But
yeah.
what I was bringing up was the Star Fox PC port. So Star Fox 64 got a PC port. It's obviously it's fan made. But I played it on my ultra wide monitor. Really cool, man. Really nostalgic. So I'll read a little bit of this real quick from Engadget.
And
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say for this leak came from Samus Hunter 2, and the rumor was that this game could possibly release in 2025. Like it could possibly be a first year title for the
Makes
Switch
sense.
2.
You gotta fill
As
out
like a
that
secondary
year.
game.
Gotta fill out that year. Makes sense. So, but
Whenever we get the next direct, I guess you'll find out.
a group of talented fans made a native PC port of Star Fox 64, which they're calling Starship. Even better, it's technically legal. Harbor Masters, the team behind the project, used a tool that converts the original game ROM into PC executable code, so it doesn't actually use any proprietary Nintendo code. This is the same method used to create the native PC port of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and that one's still available for download. So yeah, you can download this. Mark, you should definitely check this out if you like 64. It is gorgeous. Looks really good. I saw somebody playing it on so I have a Galaxy, what's it called? Galaxy G8 monitor. Hold on, let me look. Which is my main monitor that I'm using now. It is called the Odyssey OLED G8. So I saw somebody playing it on the G9, and the G9, I'm sure you've seen pictures of it, is the huge, gigantic monitor that curves. And basically it's two monitors in one. Like you can use it as like a split screen monitor. I got the one right before that, the OLED monitor, the Odyssey OLED G8. But the G9, I saw somebody playing it on it. I was like blown away. I could never have room for it. It would take up my entire desk. It's so big. You've seen that monitor before, right? It's just huge.
I think so.
The
Yeah.
G9, yeah, it's just massive. But yeah, it's a really cool PC port. So I definitely recommend anybody watching, listening, check it out. It's cool stuff.
Yeah. We got rumors that Atari, or it's not a rumor, Atari essentially came out and is teasing what they called a re-reveal of their new handheld console at CES 2025 next week.
Yeah, I found this interesting because CES is not going on yet,
Not
but
usually, it's usually more of the IT computer industry, but not necessarily gaming focused.
yeah, there's still a lot of gaming stuff there though. There's still show
But
off
it's
a
not
lot
like
of
the primary
products.
thing. Usually you get more like just general like hardware stuff and software releases there. than actual like game related stuff.
But the Game Station Go comes complete with the D-pad, face buttons, shoulder buttons you'd expect to go on a retro handheld. What makes it stand out is the inclusion of a trackball and paddle on the left of the device and a keypad on the right. So it's got essentially everything you need to play any
All
of
the
those
games.
Atari games that require those specific controllers. So I know you don't care about Atari or anything, but
I mean,
I'm a fan.
I think it's probably kind of interesting as in the fact that it still requires some level of adaptation to those game controls to
Yeah.
a more handheld type
There's some
style.
real
'Cause
engineering
some of those
going on.
some
in
of those
this.
controllers were like the size of this handheld.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pick this up. I'll probably do a review on this because this is really cool. It's got, like I said, it has every form of controller for all the games that require that. There's games that specifically required the trackball, games that required the keypad that you had to have, stuff like that. So it's got all of those built into one little device, and I definitely would like to check it out. It's unique. There's definitely some, engineering that was involved in this. So definitely want to check it out. My arcade products are hit or miss for me. Like I've got a few. I've got you can't see it back there, but I've got a couple of my arcade products, and they're okay. Like some are hit or miss, So, but definitely cool stuff for sure.
I'm sure cool once next week hits. Probably next podcast is gonna be interesting. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. I'm sure next.
A lot of stuff for sure. I know because you were talking about this. I know we were talking before the podcast. I didn't care as much, but for the secret level, apparently Master Chief and Doomslayer was. They were told no from Microsoft about those being in the secret level series.
Yeah,
which,
I don't
to me,
get it.
they're really well known IPs. It makes sense. They don't need the advertising. That's how I thought about it. I know you disagreed a little bit.
Yeah, to me it's free advertising, so why not? It doesn't matter how big your property is. Halo is not big like it was, and Doom is not. I love Doom, one of my favorite series, but it's not on like a massive level where people are talking about it like they are like a cult. Nobody talks about Halo like they do Call of Duty anymore. If that makes sense.
Halo's never going to be at that level. It's still like when you get a new Halo game or you get a new Doom game, like those are everyone's talking about them. They're really popular, but they hit their short-term popular games. They're not like Call of Duty where they're constantly in like the culture zeitgeist like they used to be.
Yeah,
like at least for Halo, its multiplayer isn't the peak of multiplayer anymore. That peaked back on the 360.
Yeah, Mr. Coffee said Doom is bigger than Halo. I would agree with that, actually. I think Doom has become bigger than Halo.
Well, because Halo,
which is sad. That's why I'm saying to disregard that out of a show that millions of people are watching and did very successful is stupid to me.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like Halo is a very popular IP, and Microsoft necessarily doesn't need it.
No, but
I would
the thing about Microsoft is usually they play well with others, so it's weird that they denied that. It's normally PlayStation who doesn't play well with others, but PlayStation was involved because there's a whole Concord episode.
I mean, to be fair, there could have been stuff that happened behind the scenes that Microsoft didn't agree with, or there were certain stipulations they wanted, and there was no proper agreement. I mean, you're dealing with legality crossovers, and if you don't do what Microsoft wants you to do with the IP, they're going to tell you no. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think to me, it's a little odd. It seems like why would you not want to? And that would be a really cool crossover too. It seemed Doomslayer and Master Chief meet each other. I mean, just sounds cool. Like as a fan, I would want to see that. Like it just sounds like a cool concept. Like they're both owned by Microsoft. Why not? It's a one-off little episode. Some of those episodes are like 7 minutes long. Other ones are like 30 minutes long, but like some of them are very, very short. Like they could have did something really cool with it. So
Microsoft just had no interest and they said no. And I guess it's kind of what happened.
Well, I can no longer support Microsoft.
Oh, okay. I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh, man.
We also got a second trailer for the Captain America Brave New World that comes out on Valentine's Day. February 14th. I don't know what to feel about the movie, to be honest.
I don't know either.
It's not a day one watch, but that's like most things Marvel or really anything Disney related.
Yeah, I'm watching back the trailer now because I actually didn't get to watch it before. So do a little live reaction here. Harrison Ford's in it.
The fact that Harrison Ford's still acting is
It's wild.
surprising to me.
It's pretty
How
wild.
old he is.
I wonder how old he is. He's got to be what, late 70s?
Maybe we can probably find out.
Oh, Red Hulk's in this. Okay.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's 82. And he looks every bit 82.
Shatner is still out doing stuff. He was on the Steve-O podcast and he sounded, crystal clear like he was 20 years old.
Some people, obviously, people age differently. Like, let's be fair. But, like, you look at that and you're like, I don't know. Like, unless he just really enjoys acting, you look at that and, like, either you really love doing this job or you mismanaged all those millions of dollars that you made through all those box office hits you had in, like, the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. I don't know. The trailer doesn't look bad, per se. I like the Red Hulk, and it looks really, really cool. Always like Red Hulk. I still don't know how I feel about him being Captain America now. I mean,
that'd be the
it happened in the comics, so it is, legit. But yeah.
Then again, what did Iron Man became? What the
Doctor Doom?
The other dude is Doctor Doom. Yeah.
Which I am very interested in that. I will say with him coming
curious,
back.
Do we? Because obviously it's the same actor. Is that just the same actor playing a different role, or is that going to actually the actual in-lore character going to become Doctor Doom? Is there going to be something they're going to do with that?
That's a good question.
I don't know if that ties into the comics at all, but
it does
that
for sure.
Question.
It does in one of the many Earths of the multiverse that he becomes Dr. Doom.
I mean, that's the only reason you would bring him back like Robert Downey Jr. back specifically, even though because he's pretty much people know.
The thing is that Dr. Doom is Iron Man's biggest nemesis, so it's like I don't know, like a big surprise, right? So that's what they're doing there. They're trying to bring people back in that were watching during Endgame and
But I guess the idea is though does the actor have anything to do with it? Because ideally you'd want a new actor for a new character. To be fair, this is just bringing back Robert Downey Jr. Unless you're gonna use the multiverse and make some kind of lore decision to where this makes sense in some way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the multiverse is involved, so it's hard to.
How many movies have actually how many Marvel movies that weren't oh my god, I just blanked on the name of the movie now.
What?
Sorry. How many movies that weren't Deadpool have actually really played around with the multiverse itself in Marvel? Like
how many movies?
So
well,
obviously
the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse movie.
But how much did it really play with it? Because obviously Deadpool did it too.
The Ant-Man and Wasp, I think, played into that as well because they went into the multiverse. I think. I don't know what else. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that show. What was that show called? The one with Scarlet Witch and what's the guy's name?
Is that the
that had to do with the multiverse as well, which was a TV show, not a movie, but whatever. The Scarlet Witch and
WandaVision. Sorry.
WandaVision, yeah, played into it, and then I haven't seen that season 2, but Mr. Coffee said Doom in the comics was always Victor Von Doom, but in What If Reed Richard became a Doom. So yeah, I don't know. There's the thing is about all comics is they're very convoluted. So there's so much going on. They've been reset
which
a bajillion
storyline you're reading and stuff like that.
They've been reset a bajillion times. Then they introduced the multiverse and it was just all hands on deck with everything, man. Like, it's hard.
Just a massive mess.
Yeah, that's why they reset it all the time. Like DC does the same thing. They reset it and start from ground zero. And it's like, how many times are you gonna reset these comics? Like you screwed up by going too far with the multiverse and too much was happening that it's a whole reset. We're starting from ground zero. Everybody's regular again. Spider-Man's normal.
I think the problem is they're stuck with only so many IP, so many characters, and they just can't.
Or too many characters. There's too many characters. I have a whole encyclopedia for Marvel and DC that my grandma got me back in the day. this came out. I mean, I must have got them in like 2003, so obviously way outdated. But going through and seeing all these weird characters that were like, you know, in one comic or whatever, and it would go through everything that was out up to that point for DC and Marvel, and like there's too many characters, and that was in probably like 2003. And so like since then, I mean, there's been obviously way more characters. So I feel like the problem is there's too many characters, and it's hard to know what's going on. Even with the movies, once they opened up the multiverse, which I was like kind of excited about, but then I was like, this is gonna get weird. Because too much is happening. So like they could keep this going forever. I mean, legitimately, they could keep the MCU just going for a very long time.
They're gonna do it as long as it makes money. Really, at the end of the day, as long as it pumps money for them, they're gonna keep going back to the same well until they're gonna milk that cow dry.
Mr. Coffee said, very true, but you have to ask yourself, how is manga able to keep pumping up new original characters and stories? I mean, the difference with manga is that it's one set story. Like, sure, it can get convoluted too when you have light novels and you've got
that have their own story.
There's
a lot of overlay in how there's a lot of like same stories that are very similar to each other. Like a lot of isekai are very similar, but you have different people just. You know, they start doing doujins, which is a more independent version of it, and they eventually get picked up and they just make stories.
Yeah.
There's no like set IP. Like once One Piece is done, that IP is probably never gonna get, as far as the manga goes, it's outside of doujin, it's probably not gonna ever get touched again.
I don't know about that. I thought the same thing about Naruto, and look what happened.
Yeah, but
there.
It's the same author who then moved on to Boruto.
I mean, they could do the same thing for One Piece too. Continue on to a new character. You know what I mean? Because like there's too much. I feel like that's too big of an IP that One Piece just ends. Like I can't see that happening.
Once I'm pretty sure Oda's the dude that writes it. Once he's done writing it, more or less that story's gonna be done. You can bring in other authors to write it, but I highly doubt it's gonna have the same impact knowing it's a different person behind it.
It's like it's a whole different medium. Like a manga just works different than American comics do.
There's like a handful of IPs that have like a 50-year run span when it comes to anime and manga.
I mean, you look at like Gundam, like you could say Gundam's pretty convoluted with all the series.
Yeah, but you do have different people doing different iterations of Gundam. To be fair,
yeah, there's a lot of people.
Gundam isn't the moneymaker. Gundam is the poster child for the Gunpla, which is what they sell and they make a lot of money.
I don't think didn't start that way though.
You go back in the day, the whole reason it was made was to then sell toys.
Yeah, when it started with the manga, like there were no Gunpla.
No, it started as a television series and started as a manga.
Well, I'm sorry, I meant to say anime.
The problem was that and it was a whole mess with the original Gundam. But the premise for a lot of these shows is you can make this story, but the show needs to sell toys and needs to sell merchandise. Like
isn't
merchandise
that the case
is
for all like cartoons and pretty much everything.
But that's why the Gundams have to be designed certain ways and why they're always the standout character, because you need to sell the merchandise of the mobile suit, which usually is in the form of a type of Gunpla. That's where the actual money is made.
Yeah.
So you a lot of these shows, and not all of them, but a lot of anime are they're written from the ground up with merchandise in mind, knowing it has to sell something else to actually make money and continue to get funded.
Yeah,
from these big publishers, studios, and stuff like that.
Makes sense. I just had my entire thing crash on me, so I don't have any of the notes pulled up. Trying to get it back up. I don't know what we had next.
Yeah, I saw Mr. Coffee's. I'd have to dig back into it because it's a. I mean, you talk about a show that's like 50 years old. It's a whole convoluted mess.
Yeah.
But even back then, I'm pretty sure there were still stipulations that needed to sell merchandise even back then.
All right, so we've got the Steam Awards 2024 winners revealed. Looks like we got Game of the Year, Black Myth: Wukong. VR Game of the Year, Metro Awakening, which I really want to play that. Best Game You Suck At, Black Myth: Wukong. Outstanding Story Rich Game, Black Myth: Wukong. These are weird categories. Labor of Love, Elden Ring. Best Game on Steam Deck, God of War Ragnarok. That's kind of surprising. I would have thought like Blatro or something. Better with Friends, Helldivers 2, Outstanding Visual Style, Silent Hill 2, Most Innovative Gameplay, Liar's Bar. I almost bought that because it's like $3 on Steam. It looked kind of interesting. I might have to end up grabbing that. Best soundtrack, Red Dead Redemption 1?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why would that be in there? It's an old game.
These are all community voted on Steam. So this is a wholesale people that you have an account, you go in and you make votes and stuff like that. That's how they.
That's
how they
weird
do
they
this.
can
This is
include a game so
100%.
old.
This is 100% voted on by the Steam community.
And then
And what the nominations are, I don't know.
Sit Back and Relax was Farming Simulator 25.
Farm simulators are really popular.
I know they are. I had it on the Vita. I actually liked it. That was pretty fun.
I thought it was interesting because there obviously some of these titles are unique, but just the fact that this is full sale fan vote. I don't know how they do the nominations for some of these games for some of these stuff, but the fact that you can do a wholesale fan vote, that's I'm sure to some ways you could probably bot it, but it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Or most people aren't going to do it because who cares?
Right. All right, so we got.
And the fact I somehow missed this, I didn't realize it was going on, and I missed it, so I wasn't able to vote.
This one you have to watch the trailer, Mark, and let me know what you think while we're talking about it here. But they announced, Marvel Animation announced Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So this is a new take, and I've heard really positive things. Art style is pretty neat. It's like a comic booky art style for the show. It goes back to kind of the beginning of Spider-Man. So this is basing off of the comic book series Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is one of the offshoots of Spider-Man. There was a bunch of mainline Spider-Man comics that were not related at all, but this is based off of that particular comic book series. So it looks cool. I actually like the animation style where it's kind of looks like a comic book. It definitely looks interesting. It's got a lot of modern day elements into it. You got people with like cell phones recording and stuff like that. Spider-Man's got that early Spider-Man suits. But yeah, it just says it's celebrating the roots of Spider-Man, from the classic Spider-Man TV theme to the comic book shop intro, the show having a comic style look and slew of transitions. This is set during modern times, and we will get to see a young Peter Parker / Spider-Man deal with such things as social media live streams when he's saving people and managing school. So I think it looks pretty good. It's something I would check out for sure because I'm a big Spider-Man guy.
Actually, I did hear about this, but not from that, and I didn't realize it was a new TV show. I just saw it on social media. It's it's Norman Osborn, which is where all the internet discussion's going on.
What?
And a lot of people are doing that with the I think it's the Norman Osborn from the OG Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Stuff like that with some of the memes.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how he was in the comics because people just jump into the idea that I don't know if it was changed in the comics or when, but that they just race swapped Norman Osborn out.
In this?
I don't know how accurate that actually is. Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. It's not in the trailer, so I'm not sure.
No, I think it was revealed after the fact. Well, it was revealed back on the 29th, so.
Huh.
I'm
looking through the images to see if I see anything.
I put it in the notes for you.
I hope not. They need to stop doing all that. Just leave characters the way they were created. I don't know. It looks.
They gave him some dope. They gave him some dope.
Oh, I think you're right because I see. There's one image that looks like it might be.
Yeah, I posted it in the notes for you right there at the bottom. It's a link from X.
Okay, yeah. Let me check this out. Yeah, they did.
That's like I heard about that like a lot this week. That's like the immediate thing people jumped on. And then the memes are just.
Yeah, I know. I just saw a meme.
People are just jumping on them.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I'm not sure why they did that, man. I'm not.
I don't know
sure.
anything about the manga. This is, or not the manga. I don't know anything about the comic, but this is based off. I don't know the history with some of that stuff, but obviously people.
I don't remember.
You see one thing and you jump to a conclusion because you've been trained to do that.
I'll see if
and they don't have no impact on how good the show actually is, but it's definitely you're not going to get a show that's drama free or a game. There's going to be drama somewhere.
Trying to see what he looked like in the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man comics, and trying to see he could have been black in that
because they came out. Norman Osborn's going to be voiced by Coleman Domingo.
I don't know. I can't find exactly where, but he could have been in the comics. He could have been, because they've between the different Spider-Man comics that were all running at the same time, some characters were different and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I'll definitely check out the show. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the art style and stuff.
It might still be good. It's just that's the one obvious thing people could latch onto, and then social media does its thing.
Yeah, for sure. We got
other than that, it looks like hopefully it's good. Who knows?
It looks good. The animation's it's not MCU related, so maybe might be good. We got, let's see, restream. Mr. Coffee said Gundam lost its way. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Mr. Coffee said Gundam lost its way when it veered off its core story about being anti-war. The merch came later and helped them produce more shows. Yeah, see, that's what I thought, because I don't. From my understanding, Gunpla didn't come out until years after Gundam was already out.
But I'm still sure that I have to go back and double check, but I'm pretty sure the merchandise was always an issue with that show. But he is right about the anti-war. The problem with that is every new show you get, it's a new alternate universe story.
Yeah,
it's not the OG, because it's the problem. The thing with Universal Century is it's so well developed because they've stuck at it and make so many series. A lot of these other alternate universe, even if you have a good premise, they just do one season and they move on. They don't ever develop an actual world, which is why I think most people that get into Gundam realize how good Universal Century is. Like, all the best Gundam is in Universal Century. Like, some of the worst as well, but it's peak.
I mean, I still stand behind saying that SD Gundam is probably one of the best Gundams coming out. I think
a lot of SD Gundam deals with Universal Century timeline.
Yeah, it does. Man, why do people overlook that? SD Gundam is so good.
It's not. I hated it. I never
loved it. I loved it as a kid. Mr. Coffee said Farming Simulator is huge in Germany, and also said they also gender swapped the son that now it's a girl Osborn, apparently. And Palmer Froggy guy said, "Hey, Mark."
Yeah, and then because there's the weird thing, technically, all Gundam is canon if you take the lore of Turn A Gundam seriously.
Yeah,
I need to. It's more of a hearsay from I've heard people talk about it because I never actually watched the series. I don't even. I don't think I even have it yet. I still need to buy that series on Blu-ray. But if you're into the lore, that technically every Gundam is canon in the same timeline because of that Gundam. Make that make sense to me, but
yeah,
that's a whole other discussion we can have later.
Yeah, for sure.
We have the OG Gundam on the dock to talk about at the end of the month on the Anime Junction podcast. So
I thought that was canceled.
No, it's moved to the right.
Oh, okay. Thought we canceled it.
It's such a good.
I'm just joking.
I know. I want to talk about that. That we could talk a whole hour just on that alone. To be fair.
Yeah, we could for sure.
I guess the last thing before we move on, the Final Fantasy 16 director, Hiroshi Taki, essentially teased that he's working on a new unannounced game project that's supposed to come out or was rumored to come out sometime in 2025.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, that definitely.
Don't know if it's going to be another Final Fantasy game, but the same director that worked on 16 is supposed to have another game that kind of comes out later on. So, possibly something, at the very least, an announcement to look forward to.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm always for that. We also got.
Oh yeah, Gamer Freak. Just saw you over there on the Twitch. We do have Godzilla on the docket because there is some news to talk about.
Do we? Oh yeah, there is news on that, isn't there? So we got. Were these questions that you wanted to go through that you were put on here? You want to run through
Most of those were stuff that I pulled up. Minus
Okay.
the last one that I pulled from, I think it was the YouTube chat.
All right. So top 5 Pokemon games. All right. You go first, because I know
'Cause I guess
my top.
I say top 5. I don't know if I'd put these in order. And these are the games that I played. So the only gen I haven't played is Gen 5, which probably arguably has, from what I've seen, the best games.
the
But I
best.
haven't played Black and White and Black and White 2, so I
The
can't put
best.
them in my top 5.
All right, hold on.
but
I can go ahead and do mine real quick.
Okay.
Black 2, Pokemon Crystal, Omega Ruby, Pokemon Battle Revolution, which is a spin-off game, and then probably X, Pokemon X.
Yeah, and my 5 it's no particular order, but they're just like the 5 games that I enjoy playing the most. So the Gen 3, the ORAS remakes of Gen 3 is the best. I would say not only the best remake, but probably the best Pokemon games out there. Whichever one you want to take doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
Then you probably have because I haven't made the Gen 2 remakes, but I also like the Gen 2 game, so I'd take the what's it, the Crystal,
Still
which is
Silver. I wish
the remaster of the 2.
that would
have a
be 6 for me.
Gen 1 has its flaws, but I do like Pokemon Yellow. If I'm gonna do the accumulation, it's a very unique game that
I love
took a
Pokemon
while
Yellow.
before they came back to what they did with the following Pokemon,
Yeah.
and they haven't done a whole lot since.
And it's the only anime based Pokemon game.
Yeah, it's the only one that's actually they went back
Tied
and,
into the
redid it based off the show.
Yeah. Which I wish they would have did more of that, because it would have been interesting, but
I believe it's was it Platinum, the Gen 4 third
yeah,
game?
Platinum's good too.
Platinum is I mean, it's the only good game. out of
Look,
Gen
I'll
4
be real
there.
with you. There isn't any mainline Pokemon game I dislike. Even Scarlet and Violet, I still love. There's none of them I
played
dislike.
a good chunk of those games, but it's such a unenjoyable playthrough for me.
It wasn't for me. I mean, once you got past all the issues once you got past the issues, I think the core game was fun. And it was a new attempt at Pokemon, an open world Pokemon game. Like, that's what I always wanted.
Yeah, and then I guess the other one would be the Legends Arceus, which I
yeah.
think does the open world 10 times better.
But see, it
understands
it's
the
semi
limitation
open
of the
world. You
hardware
still have to go
and
between.
their piss poor optimization and programming, and realize that you need to section off the world if you're gonna do that open world. Because even that game, the pop in is kind of bad with how close you have to get to Pokemon.
Yeah, Legend Arceus is up there for me too. I actually, to be honest, I probably
also
swap
got a good
that with
story.
Pokemon Battle Revolution. I love that game too, which is one that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about that game ever.
Yeah, because I mean, and this is my personal opinion, everything after Gen 5 is just a steady decline in how good the games are.
Really?
That's a personal.
Did
X
you
and Y
like
was
Brilliant
okay.
Diamond Shining
Did
Pearl?
not
I mean,
care for
sorry.
the Sun and Moon.
Did you like Sword and Shield?
I liked it better than Sun and Moon and the silver the 2 games we
Ultra.
just got.
Ultra
Well,
Sun, Ultra Moon.
The Gen 7 as a whole, essentially.
I liked it. I also like the
There
the
is
different
no
take
point
on-
if you're gonna play that Gen. I think it's Gen 7.
just play Ultra.
Don't even bother with Sun and Moon. Just play the Ultra, because it's
Yeah.
the same game, same story, just the extra content.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I think was a
essentially.
terrible decision on Nintendo's part to do it that way.
One thing that I always look back at is, why did they never do another direct sequel like they did with Black 2, White 2? I mean, because it works so well. Those are beloved
think with
games
the-
on
with
most
the-
people's
with
lists.
the,
Those are the number one games.
With the amount of complexity the game started to get, especially when they moved into 3D, and probably it just financially wasn't making them as much money as it used to be fair.
Well, there was no decline in sales until
For
Scarlet
the third
Violet.
game.
No, I mean, the
No,
trajectory.
I meant that third game specifically wasn't hitting whatever they wanted to hit financially, or they just decided not to. Who really knows at the end of the day?
Yeah, I'm not. It's
or
hard
they
to
just didn't
tell.
want to throw the development cost into it.
But
Because all
what?
the way through the Sun and Moon, I mean the Ultra Sun and Moon are kind of that, but it's
Yeah, that's what I'm
all
saying.
a
They're
big
kind
mess.
of
Should've
direct
just
sequels, but they're basically the same game. It's like, just play those. Although, if you are doing the complete decks, if I remember correctly, there are Pokemon that you can only get in the base Sun and Moon, correct? That aren't in
I
Ultra.
thought it was there's certain Pokemon stuck in there are certain legendaries or mythicals, I can't remember which one, that are stuck only in the Ultra versions.
But isn't
I'm
there
pretty sure if you just play the
Pokemon
Ultra
stuck
versions, you
in
can
the
still complete
base
the full
games
deck.
too?
I don't think so. I think
Oh,
all
okay.
the same base Pokemon were in Ultra.
I don't
Sun,
do
Ultra
the
Moon, I'm pretty sure.
national decks, but I just for some reason I thought that if you wanted to complete it, you still had to play those games. But I guess
It's
to add on
it's
to that,
not worth your time.
just to kind of add on to that, what would be your top 5 Pokemon spin-off games?
The problem is I haven't played I probably don't think I've played a full 5.
I can do it easy, so I'll just go ahead
Probably
and throw.
the pinball. You've got the
There's
what's it, the
tons.
Adventures games?
Adventures
Not the
games.
Adventures games, but the
Ranger?
Mystery Dungeon.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't play the Ranger. The Mystery Dungeon, and then I guess Arceus is the only other spin-off game that I played.
So for me, Pokemon Battle Revolution, I'm just gonna throw that one in there. Pokemon Ranger. You can take any of the Pokemon Ranger games; they're all good. Pokemon Stadium 2. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Blue Rescue Team, and then I guess Pokemon Snap.
Yeah,
Probably be my top ones. But I mean, there's a lot of honorable mentions too. There's so many Pokemon games. It's just a lot to go through. All right. So, what are your top gaming anticipations for 2025?
I think there's only 4 that the announcements that we know that I think would be on my docket. So obviously it's the Monster Hunter Wilds. We're expecting obviously Prime 4 and then the Legend ZA, and then I guess it's kind of hard to make a list and not have GTA 6 on there as well.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna win a bunch of awards and be the biggest game launch of this year.
Yeah, so I think for me, GTA 6, Metroid Prime 4, Ghost of Yotai, Doom: The Dark Ages. What else? Let me think.
Death Stranding 2?
Nah, absolutely not.
Walking Simulator 2.0?
Absolutely not. Those are my tops. I'm really excited for Doom: The Dark Ages. Ghost of Yotai. I loved Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm sure I'm going to like that one too. Monster Hunter Wilds for me as well. I actually didn't know you were even a Monster Hunter fan, to be honest with you. So I'm kind of surprised you said that.
I've not really played in the game, so this would be like the real first proper one I'd get into. I have got the Worlds, but I played like an hour of it.
This one's hard because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be good, but I want Borderlands 4 to be good. But Pokemon Legends ZA is at the top for me because I loved Arceus so much. At the very tip top, along with Doom Dark Ages. I'm so hyped for Pokemon Legends ZA. I mean, but Ghost of Yotai definitely. Are you excited for Ghost of Yotai?
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I can't see it going wrong as far as the gameplay goes. Maybe, hopefully, the DEI stays far away from it. Ghost of Tsushima is just an absolute masterpiece. I played it twice. Played on PS4 and PS5. I'm cautiously optimistic as well. But Pokemon Legends ZA, we've seen so little of it, and Arceus was just so good that like I have really high hopes for this game, being that it's on the Switch 2 and can handle that. Because Legends Arceus wasn't open world; it was open world-esque, but you went between areas. Switch 2 could handle. I mean, obviously Switch 1 could handle it because we got Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So obviously, it was able to
look at it. It's poorly coded or poorly optimized.
Something happened along the way.
Did not care to fix the problem. They're just like, good enough.
Yeah, because Scarlet and Violet, there's no reason that should have happened with when you have Tears of the Kingdom and stuff like that. There's no reason. But Pokemon Legends ZA, take that format of Arceus, make it full open world, and then obviously you've got DLSS involved to upscale everything and look good. That game could very well be up there with Game of the Year contender for next year. I think it has a chance.
I think we already know GTA 6 is winning Game of the Year.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it could be a contender. I think that it has the possibility.
It should be, but you can already, the moment you knew GTA 6 was coming out, you're like, that's
if it comes out next year. if it doesn't get delayed.
Which is why Nintendo doesn't need any games coming out anywhere near that game.
Oh,
Need
here's
games
another one.
coming out
I'm
away
an
from it.
idiot. I completely forgot. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, the remake. I forgot about that. I'm excited for that too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one, I'm sure. Death Stranding 2, man, like you can't. I just don't care. Oh,
It'll be a
another
good
one
movie.
that I think is gonna be a sleeper hit that looked really good. We both thought it looked pretty good. Split Fiction. That's one that we're gonna have to stream play together for sure. Because that looks like a really good game, and it's obviously 2 people. So, but
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a bunch more announcements for games coming out.
Yeah, for sure.
In first quarter of the 2025 and stuff like that. So there could be better games to come. That's just what we know right now for sure.
Let me ask you: are you going to stream Metroid Prime 4?
I mean, I probably should.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I think you should. You as much as I love Metroid, I always see you as the Metroid guy. So I'd watch all your streams of that.
Those games I grew up playing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
What's it? Metroid Prime 1, 2, and then Metroid Fusion. Those were like the 3 games I played the crap ton of growing up.
Didn't you have Zero Mission too?
Yeah, but I didn't play it nearly as much.
Gotcha.
I don't think I ever properly beat Zero Mission until like years later.
Oh, okay. All right, so we got some Godzilla news. What's going on here with Godzilla?
Yeah, so this dropped on the 1st because it was announced on the 1st, but so as of like 2 days ago, the official 24/7 Godzilla channel on Pluto TV has gone offline. I don't know if we know why. They just said, "Hey, this is not a thing anymore." Which it didn't affect me because I don't have Pluto TV, but obviously if you did and you're like a huge Godzilla, huge kaiju fan, this is like a big thing.
Yeah,
We can just go there and watch a Godzilla movie.
Pluto TV's free on everything. It's on every smart TV. I would throw it on at night as like my thing to go to sleep, which is really the only way that I was watching it and stuff. So it's kind of a bummer. It must mean the viewership dropped down because they went through the entire catalog pretty much, and it just started to repeat over and over and over again. So my assumption is that viewership just dropped down and just canceled it.
Just wasn't there.
Yeah, because I mean, you're repeating the same movies over and over. Like you can only do that so much. So, yeah, I mean, I guess to be expected. But yeah, we're going to be going through all the Godzilla movies here soon. So we got to figure out like when are we thinking to record those first 2 episodes?
Well, we'll have to get on the docket here soon, the next week or 2.
Yeah, soon. Yeah, I would say soon. I'd like to drop the first episode this month. I guess just plan to go ahead and watch the first movie, and then we'll make that the first episode back for Godzilla, the first Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
So just plan that out. But yeah, that's coming soon. So stay tuned for Culture Junkies. I saw some comments. Where were they at? I've got so many. I've got like 50 tabs up. Where was it? There were some comments about something with. Oh goodness, I don't know. I saw something about Godzilla.
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Godzilla's still around.
Let's see. We got Mr. Coffee said, "Rest in peace, Godzilla channel on Pluto TV." And asks, "Is Dragon Quest a Pokemon game?" Well, it was technically Pokemon before Pokemon, so Pokemon stole the designs, from Dragon Quest monsters, basically. Said Borderlands, I'm a bit worried about it. Last couple, even the collections were poorly developed. And said, well, remember, Nintendo can release only 1 or 2 Zelda games for a console, and fans are happy. Pokemon fans want a new game every year, and that doesn't give enough dev time to polish it. Yeah, what's crazy is that Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus came out in the same year.
And one obviously had far more polish and work put into it.
And then also, I would have to rebuttal on the 1 or 2 Zelda games for console, because we got a bunch of Zelda games for the Switch. We got
1
Link's
or 2
Awakening,
mainline Zelda games, I would
Echoes
say.
of Wisdom.
You get a bunch of spin-off games that probably isn't developed directly by Nintendo.
Not spin-off games though. Like
They're
those are
treated like spin-off
mainline.
games, let's be fair. Think of every handheld game.
guess.
Every game falls into the timeline, but like The
I didn't know
like
there was a spin-off Zelda game, really.
a lot of games, like a lot of like any handheld Zelda game, you probably would consider a spin-off game, not a mainline game. To be fair,
I guess. I don't know.
I mean we have a timeline, but a lot of those games don't necessarily. There's like a few hundred years between some of these games.
Yeah, I get. I mean, yeah, I guess I kind of get the point there. Um. Okay, so what game are you most embarrassed to like?
This one was actually pretty easy because I played it on the GameCube, and I thought it was still a fun game even back in the day. Because I think we would have been in middle school at some point that I still played this game. But it's what's it? Rugrats
Bro,
Royal
be-
Ransom on the
I
GameCube.
love the Rugrats video games.
It was actually a decently fun open world or a like quasi open world game.
Yeah,
Pretty
I like the
imaginative
Rugrats
for
games.
a
I
for
played
for
the
a
new one.
TV
Played
game.
and beat the new one that came out a couple months ago. I thought it was really fun. The 2D side scroller.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I had Rugrats on the PS1. We rented it, loved it. Then there was another Rugrats game on the PS1 that we also rented that I didn't care for, but I liked the one. I think it was just called Rugrats. Trying to think what game am I embarrassed? Maybe I don't know. I guess maybe
It's Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I knew it.
no, but it is similar to that. I'm trying to remember the exact title. It's
Oh
called
no,
like
it's a Barbie game,
Disney's
isn't it?
Magical. Dang it! I've got the second one on the Switch and the first one on the 3DS. It's like Animal Crossing, but it's Disney. It's Magical Adventure. Disney's. I had to look it up. Hold on. Magical Castle Switch. Oh, it's called
Adventure
Disney's
Castle?
Magical World. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
I like it. It's basically an Animal Crossing game with Disney characters. I think it's pretty fun.
Gotta
So,
watch out. Mickey Mouse is a psychopath.
pretty
They
much.
hide it really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's got that game coming out where he kills a bunch of people. So,
I was talking about the South Park iterations of them.
oh, do you want to get and jump into the new news? I gotta walk away for just a quick second. Sorry.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Oh, it's like the worst time to walk away.
I know. I'll be. Hold on.
I guess
It's good.
'cause we're gonna move. Yeah, because we're gonna try to hold off a little bit because we obviously the main thing is we more until we get a proper announcement from Nintendo. Hey, when's your next direct gonna be? Better hurry up. There's more leaks for the Switch 2 are definitely ramping up all the way around. So the most recent Switch 2 leak has to do with some patent and suggests some AI upscaling technologies potentially being used, which to be fair isn't really that much of a jump. So there was a post over on Reddit about an actual picture of the alleged picture of the actual motherboard from the factory of what it looks like and stuff like that. And I'm not a tech expert, just looking at it doesn't tell me a whole lot. It's a uniquely designed motherboard, that's the very least, but obviously certain inputs, you've got the NVIDIA card that they're using that's in there as well. But it's just one of those, the more this thing is in development, longer more people continue to have access to it and Nintendo waits to announce it, the more you're going to start getting some of these leaks that ideally Nintendo would like to stay ahead of, but because they've taken too long to announce it, you're just going to get more rumors left and right. They're just going to start coming out all over the place. So some of the rumors and stuff like that were some of the specs. Some of the specs that were mentioned in this rumor were 12 gigabytes of RAM, up from the 4 on the original Switch, the 256 gigabytes of internal storage, which is a significantly much needed. 32 gigs is just not enough, as well as a C button on the right Joy-Con. Don't know how much of the leak stuff that you knew about or you wanted to talk about specifically.
No, I mean just the motherboard image being there. Yeah, we get kind of a close look at it. Scanning through. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at. There's some good breakdowns out there about it.
People that actually know the hardware a lot better.
Yeah, that know the physical hardware better. But it does seem to be accurate. I mean, it makes sense. It's the timing is right. It's just around the corner. We expect to see these leaks like with the PS5 Pro. We knew like 6
Well,
months
yeah.
in advance it was coming out because of leaks.
Well, the longer Nintendo waits and the more this thing is in production, the more likely there are leaks to come out where people are going to have access to it.
Which makes me think, why are you waiting?
No, seriously
have
though,
no idea.
what are
They
they
need to
waiting
come out
on
in the
for
next week
more
or two.
leaks? Like it's almost come to the point. It's like, are you leaking these yourself? Like
Like
it-
the Switch, at this point, the Switch is going to get leaked itself before you actually come out and say anything about it.
you had like, I mean, just the leaks are everywhere for like Mario and Luigi Brothership leaked out like 8 weeks early. The game was online. You could play it and download it. Like it's
The only thing
crazy
I
that
could
these
think of-
leaks are happening so much.
The only thing I think of why they're waiting is they're trying to figure out, they want to figure out where the leaks are coming through, plug that hole before they move forward with a lot of stuff.
I mean, if this leak is accurate, it's coming from an assembly line. It's coming from somewhere in some factory, warehouse where this is being worked on
Yeah,
and
something like
developed.
this makes a lot more sense, but it's just one of those things where, like, the longer you wait, the more this stuff is going to start running rampant and wild. And eventually, something big is going to get leaked. That's for you're going to know for sure is
I mean, we
real.
pretty much know what the Switch 2 looks like. I mean, based
Like,
on those
you have
renders,
so much, pretty much like all the specs of what to expect from certain hardware.
which happened with the PS5 Pro
to
too. We knew
storage.
the entire specs of that console way before it came out, and all of them were accurate. Accurate. So, I mean, I think we're going to know everything about the Switch 2 before it even comes out and Nintendo reveals it, which is crazy. You would think they would want to jump on top of it and actually reveal it themselves.
Well, jumping on top of it would be not waiting forever to talk about it, especially
That's
when
what
you
I'm
start having
saying,
these
like-
leaks and stuff come out left and right.
Why
you
are
think
we
you'd wanna
still
get ahead of it.
waiting? Like you would think that they'd want to be on top of it because I mean,
The other problem is you're gonna know 3 days before Nintendo announces this, because that's how they announce their directs. It'll be like a Sunday, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, hey, this Tuesday we're gonna have this direct."
yeah.
It's gonna be like some time where it's just like, "Hey, in 2 days, good luck. We don't care if
So-
if you want to try to stream it or something like that."
You we got
My
we got
fears are gonna
really
announce it like on a Wednesday at like 10 a.m. my time, and I'm like, I can't stream this because I'm gonna be at work.
Yeah, I actually joined the Nintendo Switch 2 Reddit just to try to stay on top of like what's coming out because there's just so much every week that we got stuff to talk about. But somebody commented below this post said, "How the F is literally every aspect of this console getting leaked before an announcement for the thing actually happens?" Which I mean is
Nintendo.
true.
This thing is, if the rumors are right, this was in production back in the fall. Like, it's been in production for months at this point,
So I'm
which
like,
means them just waiting forever to announce it is, they're digging their own grave with these leaks essentially.
yeah, and these are very detailed pictures. Like the thing about
This is
this,
far
about
more real than the
faking
last
this,
one.
yeah, for sure. The thing about faking this is this cost money to be. You can't
Yeah.
just one off a motherboard like this.
No, but unlike the
It
other
would
one
cost
where it was
so
very
much
vague,
money. Yeah.
blurry, far away, this one's like up close and actually getting actual pictures on it. And I mean, if somebody faked this, all more power to you. You put a lot of money into this fake.
Yeah,
for
that's what I'm
some,
saying. You had to
For some
you had
fake
to
Reddit
put.
points.
You've got an actual Nvidia chip on there. You've got money into faking this. So to me, this one, I don't know about you, but this does seem accurate to me. This does seem
Wouldn't
legitimate.
surprise
And you've
me.
got an actual, the crazy thing is, if you look at the third picture and zoom in on it, like zoom in on the actual picture, there's a Switch cartridge in a cartridge slot. So it fits the Switch cartridge. So you know
But
that
no,
this
also,
is an actual
also
thing.
looking at where they've got certain like the ports and stuff like that, where they obviously your charging port and stuff
Yeah.
like that, where the way it's designed looks
And it's
somewhat
got
realistic what you'd expect.
It's got the double USB-C ports like that was rumored. You got the one on top, one
I
on
mean, that
bottom.
makes sense. The Switch One, the OG Switch has USB-C. It's very obvious they're going to stick with that.
Well, no, I mean the two ports. You got two USB-C ports.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be fair, the extra they needed extra ports on the actual console itself,
Yeah,
especially
that-
like if you're trying to play it in like not
Yeah.
docked, but you want it standing without a third party plug-in at the bottom.
Yeah,
Because the only problem with that is if you want to play it with the stand, you can't charge it at the same time. 'Cause
Right.
You can't without having some third party stand
Plus,
that allows you to plug in from the side. or something
having
like
that additional USB-C port opens up a whole world of possibilities for like accessories and stuff.
Yeah, just add-ons in general.
Yeah, so Yeah, I mean, you got that actual NVIDIA chip there, and so like I don't see this. I am noticing actually looking in, zooming in real close. There's actually somebody blurred some stuff on the NVIDIA chip. If you zoom in on it, there's actually somebody intentionally blurred some stuff on the NVIDIA chip. I'm not sure what they blurred, but you can see it there. There's two spots that are blurred.
That looks like it's like that could be like a serial number or something like that. That could be something that could be used to trace it why it was blurred, especially if it's because a lot of stuff is properly
Be
numbered
traced back,
and they know what stuff was ran through what assembly line or something like that. That if that is what they are that was blurred out, that's why it was blurred out, to make it harder to trace back to who it was. Because some numbers on some hardware, it's the same across the board. It's just a
well, that's what I would think is it would
like
be
an
the
ID
same on
number
every
for it.
chip, but
the
maybe
serial
not.
number, like if it's a serial number, that's unique to that specific chip.
Yeah.
Each chip is gonna have its own serial number and stuff like that.
What I want to know is how. I mean, if it's in the factory, then obviously it's easily accessible. Somebody's just got to walk away and take pictures real quick and then put it back. That's all it takes.
Not the easiest, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's very possible, because happened with the PS5 Pro. Happened. I don't know if you remember, but there were a bunch of accurate leaks for the PS5 when it came out, and like 2019, a bunch of leaks came out about all the specs. They were accurate. The specs were accurate for the PS5 Pro. So like this stuff is just, it's coming out early. People know that they can get some clout or whatever by posting this stuff. So that's what I always wonder, like, what are you getting out of leaking this out? But I guess it's just clout.
Fake internet clout points.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
Or they're like, oh, well, if Nintendo won't announce it, I will myself.
I mean,
screw you.
You forget about the person 1 week later, so I don't get the point. But it is interesting and gives us something to talk about. So, but one thing I noticed, if you look at the picture with the Nintendo Switch cart in, if you zoom in on it, you can see where there's a little notch to the left, where potentially the Switch 2 cart might do what the 3DS cart did, where it had a tab on it so it doesn't fit into a DS. They might be doing the same sort of thing for the Switch 2
to prevent the backwards. Yeah, that would make sense. You have something,
because there's a little space there where like that, you know what I mean, where that cart could be.
I think you'd need to for games that would only be for the Switch 2. You don't want to be able to plug it into a Switch,
right?
Just not work. So
yeah, my guess is they're going to do the little tab thing where it prevents it from going into the Switch.
It's a pretty simple thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a little piece of plastic. That's all it is. There's nothing
where it
there.
lets the Switch cartridge in, but the Switch 2 only goes into this one specifically, just the way the cart is designed.
Right. Yeah, which makes sense. Makes total sense there.
They have plenty of practice with that with their handhelds. So.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like the last thing that we got is a rumor.
Yeah, so this is a rumor that specifically Breath of the Wild may potentially get a Switch 2 upgrade. So this
4K,
game specifically will get like what they're doing with like the PS5 Pro. Certain games are getting upgrades for the hardware. There's rumors that the Breath of the Wild will specifically have a Switch 2 upgrade. Essentially, it'll look better and play better on the Switch 2.
Man, I really hope they do this for Tears of the Kingdom, because I haven't beat it yet, and I would love to have an upgrade for that. Seems weird to only do it for Breath of the Wild.
It also could be it's easier for an older, this could be potentially a tech demo they were doing, whether that actually gets released or not. But if this is actual true thing, I imagine a lot of first-party Nintendo games, Zelda games, Mario games, and stuff like that will get the same treatment for the Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and if they're gonna do this, it would make more sense that it's a same cartridge, but when you plug it in, you get some kind of download that then upgrades it for the Switch 2.
Yeah,
that would make the most sense for me, and be the most financially viable than just reprinting cartridges with a slight upgrade on them.
Yeah,
but this could also just be a rumor. They were just using they could have just been using Breath of the Wild as like a tech demo for the new hardware.
Yeah, because there was rumors about that there was a 4K Breath of the Wild out there where they were showcasing it on the Switch 2 to show what it was capable of doing. So yeah, I mean, I could see that. Do you think it's possible that we get that games get upscaled, like Switch 1 games get upscaled on the Switch 2, or do you think they're just going to play like they normally would on the Switch 1?
If they do, I mean,
or
obviously,
could it be like
with the-
sporadic if it gets patches or something like that?
I think it's up to the game, the developer. I mean, obviously, all the games would look and play better just having better hardware. As far as like actual proper upgrades, that'd be up to what Nintendo wants to do and what studios they want to do it with. To be fair,
Yeah.
that it obviously requires you the developer going back and doing extra work with the game and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm sure some games might get it. Like first party Nintendo games would be the first, like a Zelda or a Mario would make the most sense to get it first. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you hope to see it, but it's kind of hard to know.
Hey, well, I'm trying to pull some stuff up. Are you able to check some of the comments, see if we got any comments while I'm trying to pull this up here real quick?
Yeah. What's the other one? Oh, Mr. Coffee said, Nintendo AI upscaling over PSSR. Joshua over on the Facebook said, "What's up, y'all?" Mr. Coffee, or if you're getting all the leaks when Nintendo was gearing up to announce the Switch, and all the leaks, were wrong every time. I don't know. I have to talk to you. I wasn't paying attention to the Switch announcement, so I do not know for sure. I'd have to double check with Brandon on that one. Unless someone has an actual board on hand, but it's easy to generate, create anything through Unreal, and then, I mean, it could be fake for all we know, but yeah, I mean, take it with a grain of salt because it's not like every single leak that you get is always wrong. Some of them are accurate, so it's always a possibility. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, did I miss the Pokemon stuff? Yeah, it was like right before we got into the Switch stuff. We were talking about Pokemon for a little bit. So yeah, I guess it comes down to, I mean, it's a leak, so you always take it with a grain of salt, but it's kind of hard to tell. Obviously, once the actual announcement comes out, some of these leaks are going to be wrong and some are going to be right.
Yeah.
It's just you'd have to go back and double check and see for sure.
Yeah, for
But I mean, until the actual Switch is announced, you're gonna have people. You have good and bad leaks all over the place. People, making rumors on stuff left and right. It's just kind of hard to avoid, especially when there's so much anticipation at this point. Everyone's just like, why is it not announced yet at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, based off their timeline, you have until March to announce it due in the next 3 months. They're gonna announce it by March. It's just, when are they gonna announce it? Are they really gonna wait till March to announce this thing? And they announce it in March. You just feel like a fall release is an August, September release windows are realistic at that point. It's how I look at it. But
yeah, I wonder. One thing I was wondering, do you think that they'll do any like bring over? Because they could essentially sell. I've heard a couple of things. I've heard that one, Breath of the Wild will get like a patched version that's free for Switch 2, but then I've also heard that they'll bring it over as like a new game in 4K, like release it as its own thing.
I think they could probably do it both ways. I would believe the free update making a lot more sense than rebuying a game just to have it look better.
Yeah,
Like that'd be easier to sell,
for sure.
especially like if you're trying to get people to buy the Switch 2. Why force them to buy a new game when it's just like, oh well, here's a free upgrade if you buy the Switch 2, essentially, as a way to incentivize sales for the Switch 2, essentially.
Did you say Joshua was in here?
Yeah, Restream was bringing him his comments over from via Facebook.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Did we miss any comments? Oh, we got a super chat. Palmer Froggy guy said, "Will you buy Switch 1 day 1 to cover on the?" I think they meant Switch 2 to cover on channel. I mean, I know I am for sure. I think you're
assuming you can get your hands on it.
Yeah, we can get our hands on it.
That's no brainer.
Yeah, we can get our hands on it. We'll have to see. I mean,
that's a whole video in and of itself.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, supposedly, the delay may be that they're ramping up production so that doesn't happen. But, yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens. But I'll definitely be trying. I know you'll be trying, so we'll see. Whoever gets it first can do a video on it. Just an unboxing video and then do an impressions video or something like that.
I mean, at the very least, I definitely appreciate the super chat for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout that out.
And then we got Joshua said.
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to shout it out. That was the official, the very first super chat on Game Junction over on the YouTube. So,
we got super chat yesterday. I think when it says 1, that means it's there
Oh,
for a super
sorry. It
chat.
says at the very least that was Palmer's first super chat. I
Yeah.
misread that.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first one that I've seen, so it's first to me.
We got Joshua saying over there on the Facebook. He said, "Gonna try to join podcast lives more. Had some stuff happening that had me different, and holidays had me also busy. Hours long video on it." And Mr. Coffee said, "I can't wait to snatch an OLED Switch for $100." Yeah, hopefully. I'm sure prices will drop on those and stuff like that. But
Even for like a lightly used one at the very least, you probably find one pretty cheap once the Switch 2
the
comes
Switch
out.
OLED's awesome. I mean, OLED screens. I don't know what your experience is with OLED, but I've got 2 OLED monitors now because of the Switch OLED. I fell in love with OLED so much that I got 2 OLED monitors. I mean, it's like a night and day difference from LCD. So I'm a big fan. But did you have anything else you wanted to bring up, or?
No, I think that's pretty much hit most everything else, and we're just over 2 hours. So
All right. Well, we've
I
got
guess that half hour of the 20-minute tangent we went on worked out perfectly.
what were we even talking
Nothing
about?
related
Again?
to video
Military
games at all.
stuff. Oh man, yeah, for sure.
I don't remember how we went down that rabbit hole, but it was a thing.
I don't remember either, but hey, that's what
Hey,
happens here. It's all right.
That's a good stuff with the podcast.
Yeah,
so.
it is good stuff. We have got for people watching live, sorry, audio listeners, we are live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming a different game every week. So this week we are streaming Warhammer, right? Or
Yes,
no? Or
finally.
did we just? Okay, we are streaming Warhammer.
Yeah, pretty sure. You
Okay,
were waiting
alright.
forever for you to get the game, so.
Okay, cool. So we're streaming Warhammer, Space Marine 2. And then I think next week we're going to try to do the community stream. I think we'll probably just roll for the first one with Marvel Rivals just because it was brought up yesterday. It was brought up before when you were streaming. And it's free to play, so it's just easily accessible. So I think we'll do that first, but I think we have in the books that we're going to do Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Call of Duty. You're reluctant on Fortnite, but I'm just trying to think of games that everybody can play that's easy for everybody. So if you got any suggestions, let us know. We're definitely open to suggestions for community streams. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that we don't know about. So definitely let us know on that. And then Sunday, we've got the Anime Junction cast dropping, which we'll be recording tomorrow. We got to get ahead on that again, by the way, because I was worried last week with what happened. I didn't know if I was going to make it in time. I was like, we were ahead on that, and then we quickly got not ahead.
Oh, wait, what was it again? Sorry.
No, we need to get ahead on recording those again. Like, be a few episodes ahead in case emergencies like that happen, because, like, I almost didn't think I was going to make it in time to record, and we were like 3 episodes ahead, and now we're not ahead at all.
We were never more than 1 episode ahead. But
Yes,
I
we
mean, I
were.
intentionally brought us back to the same week. No,
When we
were only ever 1
started,
episode ahead.
we were
No.
ahead.
But
What?
I mean, the nature of what we're trying to do is kind of hard to get ahead and stuff like that.
Not really, because we just watch.
How long is it gonna take you to watch Gundam?
I have no idea. It's gonna take a little bit.
I'm just saying, with the amount of time it takes to watch some of these shows, it's. But I mean, the way we've been doing, I'm content with the way it's going right now.
Yeah, as long as stuff doesn't come up, things happen. But yeah, we got that dropping sometime on Sunday, and then of course, for our audio listeners, we are live on YouTube and Twitch every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the podcast. Definitely come hang out with us live. It's a lot of fun. Go on random tangents. You can hang out with us in the comments. And then anything else to add, Mark?
No, I think that's everything.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching. Thanks again, and we'll be back live again tomorrow. We'll see y'all later.
Yeah, same time.